Very good morning, everyone. This is Rajendran here, joining from OpenAlgo. See, this specific session is going to be for absolute beginners who are very new to OpenAlgo, or somebody who's not a techie, but they want to explore OpenAlgo and they want to deploy on their own. So they want to manage OpenAlgo on a day-to-day basis, right? So what we're gonna do is like we're gonna start everything from the scratch and we're gonna explain for the absolute beginners, right? So I hope the audio and video quality is good so that we can quickly kickstart with the session. So there is a chat box down there. You can just simply type it out so that I can get an idea that you are able to understand me and you're able to hear me. Is everything is good? All right, great. Thank you, Subhash. Thank you, Crypto Info. Thank you, Ramana. And so, first thing first, first of all, I'll try to explain what OpenAlgo is all about, right? So, OpenAlgo is an open source algo trading platform which is something new to the Indian trading community. So last couple of days, I've been talking to a lot of traders, right? Majority of the people, they are very much not aware about what an open source is all about, right? So for them, I would like to present a small slide over here. See, when it comes to open source algo trading platform, open source is not something new to us. We've been using for quite a long time, right? So more than a decade, almost every one of us been using open source application. Maybe if you would have used Android phones, right? So you're not paying for the Android software, you're just only paying for the Android mobile phone only you're paying, right? So anyways, Android is open source. The operating system inside Android is Linux, which is open source again. Probably you would have used Linux platform, or maybe you would have used Linux servers. You would have hosted your application in Linux servers that is open source, right? I mean, the Linux as an operating system is an open source. So I'll try to give you an idea about what is the differentiator between open source algo platform and closed black box platforms. See, in OpenAlgo, the best part about OpenAlgo is the complete source code is available at free of cost. You're free to download, free to modify, free to distribute, right? And you can run your own algo trading platform, your own private algo trading platform in your own infrastructure. You can run it in your own Windows, Mac, Linux, even Raspberry Pi. And we have certain instances where some of the OpenAlgo users are using in their pretty much old, some 3-year-old Xiaomi phones because it runs Android and Android runs Linux, which can run Python applications. And OpenAlgo itself and a simple Python application. It's a web-based application, by the way, because many people are confusing that how I can install OpenAlgo. They are directly going to OpenAlgo website and they're going to the download website and they're trying to download, right? And I would like to say them that you have to install. Probably the installation process is gonna take a little bit of time. Maybe if you are an expert, a little bit of techie, maybe you should be able to set up within like 5 to 10 minutes of time. But maybe if you are not a techie, somebody who is a trader, or maybe somebody who is very new to this ecosystem, right? So never tried Python in your life or never tried installing any Visual Studio Code or something like that. Probably it is gonna take you around 45 minutes to figure out by looking into the OpenAlgo YouTube videos, tutorials, documentation, and everything, right? So I made the thing simple for you guys. So this is for somebody who is very new to OpenAlgo. These are the list of process they have to follow, right? So not every step is mandatory. Some of them are optional. For example, the basic requirement, if you want to run in your Windows machine or in your Mac machine or Linux desktop or a laptop, maybe an you need to have some sort of an editor. It's good to have an editor, right? I prefer to go with VS Code, but otherwise we are living in an AI agentic era. You can also prefer using Cursor, Windsurf, and Anti-Gravity, which are nothing but an fork of VS Code. Basically, they're nothing but an copycat of VS Code. VS Code is from Microsoft, right? You can download VS Code by going to just go to VS Code download. You should be able to reach the Microsoft portal. From here, you can go and download for whichever the portal you want. The setup process involves couple of some 2 minutes of configuration work is there. So what you need to do is like I had already have an instructional blog on that. You just simply search for VS Code market calls. You will be reaching the guide on how to install VS Code. This is the one you can go with that. So ultimate guide to install VS Code and also Python, right? So this is a step-by-step procedure. You can go with that. Right? This is pretty much very simple, easy to do, right? And once the Visual Studio Code is installed, right? You need to ensure that two things you need to ensure after installing the VS Code. I'm going to pull up my VS Code over here. You have the extension section, right? So you have to go to the extension. Before installing the extension, ensure that Python is already installed. You also have to go and install Python as well. So maybe Python, you can go to python.org. From here, go to downloads. Maybe probably can try download from the Python installation manager as well. However, if you want an older version, right? So older version you can consider using from here, right? If you are looking for a specific release. It's highly recommended that you consider using anywhere between Python 3.12 to Python 3.14. This is a Python 3.14 is the current running version, right? Python 3.14, which is the current running version which is going on. So probably I would consider not recommending using any of the older version. We see that these are like end of the life. End of the life means this version has been completely getting obsolete, which means it's highly recommended to use from 3.10 onwards. But my recommendation is like very soon these also will be reaching end of the life in another a year or so. So I would recommend to you to use anything from 3.12 to 3.13 to 3.14, right? So 3.14 is the current running version which is going on. Now, once this is downloaded, right? So when you are downloading and installing, you need to ensure that you are also installing along with the path as well. So when I say path, when you are installing, it will be asking you for a Python path. The Python path adding itself, it is mandatory. So that once you installed and then you open up your VS Code, I'm going to show you my VS Code. So now if you go to your terminal, so the terminal will always open up with a PowerShell, right? You can add as many terminal you want. You can add multiple terminals, right? So these are like PowerShell terminal. PowerShell terminals are different from command line, right? So it also accepts command line tools, command line commands, but apart from that, PowerShell can do more than a simple command line, right? So let me remove all the PowerShell. And let's say I can just simply type Python hyphen hyphen version. So if you are seeing Python, what does that means is your Python is already installed and more or less you are likely to use Python inside your VS Code. You can run your Python application. That's what it means. But that is not enough. This is not the Python configuration. This configuration alone not enough. You may also have to go to the extension section. You have to go and install three major extensions. You have to install Python. When you install Python, automatically it also adds another extension called Pylance. So Python, ensure that you just install it. Maybe it'll take a couple of seconds to install it, and then followed by that Pylance. When you install Python, automatically Pylance also will get installed. And these are like kind of marketplace. For example, like how in Android we have app stores, right? So in Android and iOS, we have app stores. Likewise, Microsoft, who supplies the VS Code, They also provide a marketplace to download various VS Code extensions. Extensions are like kind of an apps. And the most important one is like Jupyter. This is kind of optional, but if you are a serious Python learner, then Jupyter Notebook is very much required. Consider installing it. So these are three important extension that you have to install as a beginner if you want to install OpenAlgo, right? And one of the major question people are having is OpenAlgo, is it considered as a third party platform? Because I've been reading this FIRE's API regulatory changes, right? So one of the topic that you can find here is probably I think they classify APIs into two categories. One is transactional APIs. Transactional APIs are related to orders. It could be like placing a single order, multi-order, multi-leg order, exit order, modify order, cancel order, smart orders, and order exit, or closing all order positions, or canceling all pending orders. Anything related to order, it will be considered as a transactional APIs. So what are APIs? It's the way that we communicate algorithmically. Whenever any signal is coming from my software, I will be sending it to my broker in the form of orders, so that the order will be automatically punched in the broker account, right? So it's a kind of a communication layer which broker provides. They also provide non-transactional APIs as well. Means I can access the market data, I can access my funds, I can access my order book, trade book, position book, holdings, and a lot of other things. Like different brokers, they provide different variations. Some brokers they provide option chain, some brokers they provide margins, and some brokers they even provide your back office reports as well. So different brokers they will provide different things, right? And every broker they come up with the rate limits. So you should be very much aware about the rate limits are like kind of a speed bumpers, right? So to stop you from accessing unlimited resources, unlimited API calls, right? So by default SEBI says if you are placing an order, you are limited up to placing up to 10 orders per second, right? And up to that point, you don't need any approval as a retail trader. Maybe if you are a techie and you are managing your own Python applications, you don't need to go for any approvals. So 10 is what the limit, but brokers also having a extended limit like per minute 200, per day like 10,000, and this differs from broker to broker. But what is universal is like, or what is likely to be universal from 1st of April is for a regular retail trader who is going to procure their own API key and API secret key from the broker side for automating their own trading ideas, probably uh, the 10 per second is going to be the standard, right? Likewise, transactional APIs and non-transactional APIs, every broker they'll be having their own rate limits. And brokers are likely to stop market orders. They are saying that they will be stopping market orders. They're saying like as per the safer algorithmic participation documentation from SEBI, right? So it says like market orders are not permitted. So what majority of the brokers are shifting is like they are shifting from market orders to market protection orders. Means even in OpenAlgo, if you're going to send a market order, very soon it will be converted into market protection order. We had already done some testing with various brokers. We converted various brokers from market orders to market protection orders. Maybe some brokers may provide market orders, I'm not very sure, but in the backend will be executed as a market protection order so that their existing API will not get disturbed. And here comes the most important part. So what they're saying is like third party platform guidelines. Will OpenAlgo will be considered as a third party platform? If you ask me, absolutely no. It's your own platform because you own the source code. You have the complete source code with you. You are the one who is downloading the source code and you are using the source code. You have the complete rights to modify everything. So OpenAlgo will not be considered as a third party algo trading platform, right? So which means you don't need to take any approval from anybody as a techie trader, or you are running your own algos in your own infrastructure. You don't need to take any approvals, right? So means you don't need to take any approval from the broker or from the exchange or even from the SEBI also. That way, because you own the source code, you run the complete, you have the complete visibility to the source code. Anyways, so that is the one which I would like to discuss about it. Now coming back to OpenAlgo. So what is OpenAlgo? If you ask me, again, many people are having a lot of misconception. Let me tell you, OpenAlgo is a single user application. It doesn't comes with any inbuilt trading strategies. As a trader, you will have a provision to integrate with your own favorite brokers. So far, we had integrated 30 plus brokers we had integrated, and the numbers are slowly increasing, right? Recently, we also diversified into crypto brokers as well. So, I mean, we just started integrating the crypto brokers. By the way, I'm not a great believer in cryptos, but I am a great believer in providing access to multiple asset classes. So, one of the reasons cryptos are introduced, and very soon we are having roadmaps to include US markets as well. So one of the roadmap is to expand to US brokers and cryptos. That's what one of the roadmap we are working towards that. Already we started with cryptos. Very soon we'll be expanding to popular crypto brokers like Binance or Bybit or Coinbase, CoinDCX, so Mudrex. So a lot of brokers will be expanding, and at least we'll be integrating two US brokers, two major US broker. I'm thinking about integrating IBKR, Alpaca, maybe Tradier. Right? These are the first brokers I'm thinking of integrating in this year. Right? Maybe another 6 months down the lane. That is eventually it is going to happen, because now we have an architecture, or at least the architecture is slowly shaping up, where OpenAlgo can support Indian brokers as well as crypto brokers, and as well as in the very near future it will be supporting the US brokers as well, right? So OpenAlgo doesn't has any inbuilt strategies. Then what is the use of OpenAlgo? If you ask me, the use cases are very much abundant. You can connect with your own favorite popular trading software. Ami broker, kind of popular in India, not very super popular, but TradingView is like highly popular these days. Go charting, yeah, kind of an fan base is there for go charting. It's slowly getting built. Python, right? So again, this is going to be the place where a massive disruption is going to happen because of the AI tools. MetaTrader, in India, I think many users are using MT4 and MT5 platform for mostly for charting purpose and algo trading purpose. They don't use because it's more of a MetaTrader is more of an more designed for FX markets, right? FX markets. Uh, MetaTrader, yes, you can connect your own EAs and you can integrate with your own MT4, MT5 accounts, and you can trade in Indian markets as well. And I tend to automate your workflows, and a lot of other SDKs that OpenAlgo offers. So OpenAlgo offers what majority of the mid-size or even some of the top brokers they don't offer. Very few brokers are offering SDKs in multiple languages, right? I think very few brokers, I would say, maybe Zerodha, maybe Angel, and maybe Upstocks. I'm not sure about other brokers. Other brokers might be offering in one or two, three languages. But OpenAlgo adopts majority of the programming languages in Python, Node.js, Java, .NET, Go, Rust. Means if you use OpenAlgo, you can you can be an expert already. You might be an expert in any of these languages. So you can automate your strategies not just with one broker. You can automate your strategies across 30 plus brokers using the common SDKs. These are common SDKs applicable across the brokers. You might be using a mid-sized broker, maybe your broker might not be offering it. So that will be simplified by OpenAlgo, right? So OpenAlgo also comes with a lot of libraries and platform integrations. We call that as like a mini fast universe, means anything and everything inside OpenAlgo is completely open source. The entire core project that you are going to download, I'm going to show you right away, that is kept open source. Python SDKs are kept open source. Libraries and platform integrations are kept open source, right? So what does that means is OpenAlgo also supports Excel add-in, means you can now receive stock market data in Excel, live streaming codes in Excel. You can place orders from Excel. And this entire Excel add-in is kept open source, which is written in C sharp, which is kept as an open source. An AMI broker plugin, which is at a which is at a very beginning stage, I would say, like because just I need to still focus some more effort on AMI broker plugin, which is a C++ based plugin, which is kept open source. Again, a lot of good contributors who provided various platform integration facility as well. Means backtrader for backtesting. If you're already a backtrader enthusiast, backtrader is an open source tool which you can connect with your own favorite broker. So now OpenAlgo is integrated with backtrader, and not just that, there is another contributor named Crypto Info, right? So he integrated OpenAlgo chart, and that this is going to be again a massive project they've been building on. Not only Crypto Info, again along with that, some couple of other contributors also adding value to OpenAlgo chart, right? So I think this I'm seeing a lot of traction over here in OpenAlgo chart, which is completely designed with TradingView lightweight charts. If you love trading from the charts, definitely you should look into this OpenAlgo charting, right? And then we have a Chrome plugin. We have a scalping tool which is built in Rust, which is called as Fast Scalper, right? We have an OpenAlgo mobile, which is again a very base variant. But now, yes, we have a common mobile application, which is like kind of an acting like a kind of a trading terminal, and you can self-host your own OpenAlgo, and you can access the entire OpenAlgo mobile application in your iOS and Android application. Then the complete source code is available. It's built using Flutter. And then OpenAlgo also supports MCP and AI agents. OpenAlgo also comes with Algo Mirror, like kind of an if this is mostly for family accounts management, right? If you are, let's say, like you are having your own mom, dad, and your account or your spouse account you want to connect, Algo Mirror you can orchestrate from one single place. Multiple OpenAlgo you can orchestrate from one single place, right? Remember, static IP should be in compliance. You should manage your own infra, as I said, right? So none of the tool is for abuse. Ensure that you are using the tool appropriately and you comply with the static IP guidelines from SEBI regulation. You manage the infra, so you are responsible for getting the static IP, which is likely from 1st of April onwards. We'll talk more about it, about the static IP regulations. And then we also have OpenAlgo Flow. Now this OpenAlgo Flow is already integrated inside OpenAlgo itself, right? Still a lot of effort has to go into that. We are time to time we are also updating OpenAlgo Flow as well. Again, Historify, which was earlier outside, we kept outside OpenAlgo. Now it is integral part of OpenAlgo itself. If you are an OpenAlgo user, now you can use Historify. This is likely to play a very larger role going forward in backtesting. Already it's playing a larger role in terms of backtesting complex ideas. Then we have OpenQuest. So it's like kind of a real-time stock data aggregator. With you can see the real-time charts coming in TradingView charts as well. Then we have OpenAlgo documentation, which is kept open source, web portal, which is kept open source. And then we also have like Pine TS, TradingView indicator integration, right? Uh, those are the things, and a lot of other things we had built, which I haven't integrated yet in the portal. Let me show you some of the capabilities of OpenAlgo. The main capability is like automating your trading ideas, right? You can use, or I would say, like, if you are an OpenAlgo user, you can easily wipe code your own trading ideas using ChatGPT or Claude. I'm going to show you that as well, how you can do that. And highly, we recommend either to use Codex or maybe anti-gravity or maybe Claude. Claude is what I am using it. However, the same amount of intelligence you can find in anti-gravity and also in Codex tools as well. So mostly I prefer to use CLI tools. Now, what you can do with the OpenAlgo is like you can build your own indicators. You can build your own trading strategies. You can automate your own trading strategies. You can also build scanners, trading dashboard, backtesting tools, and automation. Completely, the stock market data will be coming from the broker. You can store the data inside OpenAlgo, right? And later on, you can use it for building scanners, dashboard, backtesting tools, or even you can connect and automate your trading signals. You can use OpenAlgo as an layer to transmit your orders to the broker. Now, this is a stack that we are using. I'm using here. So I'm using VS Code. I'm also using Claude Code, which is a CLI tool, mostly for building strategies. Even for building OpenAlgo, we are using Claude Code. OpenAlgo for automated executions or doing backtesting and everything, we are using OpenAlgo. We are using Broker API for placing orders, for fetching the stock market data, right? And vector BT skills, again, we have another separate division called skills. Very recently, we started building, so which is almost like 2 weeks old now, which is also gaining popular across the global community, where without writing any single line of code, you can backtest simple ideas to complex ideas, even a quant level ideas. You will be or you should be able to backtest. And getting back to the context over here. So VS Code, we are done with that. Python, assume that you installed. So the Python is very much essential for running OpenAlgo. Maybe if you, it might be helpful even if you're going to do any backtesting, scanner, or automation. Node.js, this is kind of optional, right? But it is very helpful if you're going to install skills. Or this is also helpful if you're going to install the CLI tool, AI CLI tools like Claude or Codex, right? This is highly recommended. Maybe if you want to build your own trading strategies, right? Then installing Node.js is very, very important. Otherwise, let's say you are a manual coder, then Node.js is not required if you're not going to use, let's say, like you're not going to use the skills, backtesting skills, you're not going to use the CLI tools that you are not going to use. So let's say it's highly recommended that you go and install Node.js as well. Go to the download section. From there, you can download according to your operating system. Download it, install it. It just click, install. Next. That's how it is, right? Once this is done, the next one is the most important one. This is completely mandatory. Git SEM. This is for downloading OpenAlgo from GitHub. Not only OpenAlgo, any fast application, any fast in the sense free and open source software. If you're going to download it from the internet, then Git SEM is very, very useful. So it is highly mandatory to go with Git SEM. It's not optional, it's mandatory. Git SEM download. Again, installation process is very simple. You go to Windows and then download it, right? So download the setup, click, install. That's it. So next. That's how it is. Followed by that, you also have to install the extension. We already seen that. So you have to install 3 extension: Python, Market, Pylance, and Jupyter. And the most important thing is you have to install UV. This is highly recommended way of handling or installing or running OpenAlgo faster. So the thing is Python hyphen version. you should be able to see the Python version. Second thing is node hyphen hyphen version. So you should be able to see the node installed, and then git hyphen hyphen version. You should ensure that the git is also installed, followed by that pip install uv, right? You also have to, this is for downloading the uv method. This is for running the Python application pretty much faster. If in case if you are not getting it, that means you may not be setting the Python select interpreter. Means you have to do Control Shift P. Go to just type Python select interpreter. You might be seeing something like this. Select that. This will eventually happen only if you install the extension and select the latest Python versions. So what are in my case it is like Python 3.14. Select that. Then you just maybe sometime you may have to close and reopen VS Code and then install pip install UV. Once UV is installed, you can also check the UV version, UV hyphen hyphen version. You should be able to see the UV method as well. Now this setup itself will take, as I said, like if you are a absolute techie, probably it will take you like maximum 5 to 10 minutes to set up the entire thing. It's a one-time setup, right? Whether you are a techie person or a non-techie person, it's a one-time setup. And after that, again OpenAlgo, again a one-time setup. Once the setup is done, right, you don't need to disturb your environment much. So the application is likely to run pretty much smooth, right? Or it is expected to run smooth on a daily basis unless brokers are changing their APIs. All right, so all the setup is done. Now the next part is opening a project folder. So go to File, Open Folder. I'll say like I'll go to D drive. I'm going to create a new folder. You can create your folder wherever you want, but better to keep in a separate drive, right? I'll say like OpenAlgo hyphen basics. Select the folder. This is a folder where we're going to install our OpenAlgo. So I'll go to the terminal and then I'm going to install OpenAlgo using a git command. For that, I need to know, I want to get the OpenAlgo, I need to get the OpenAlgo GitHub link. GitHub is again from Microsoft, so which is where all the open source codes are available. You can able to reach the GitHub link by just simply going to openalgo.in. Go to the GitHub link. So here is you can find the GitHub link over here. Click on that and copy the URL. So followed by that, you just simply say like git clone, and that's a command. Paste it out and enter. That should be downloading OpenAlgo. It should not be taking much of a time, probably few seconds. You should be good to download OpenAlgo. But you have to remember a couple of things here. So if you right click this folder, you can, I mean, you can see the complete source code inside OpenAlgo, which is highly community driven these days. So what I mean by community driven is, I'll go back to the GitHub link. If you could see the OpenAlgo is not just written by very few people, like almost a lot of contributors are contributing. People are adding their own brokers. People are finding issues and they are fixing the issues. And people are contributing new features. People are contributing performance improvements, right? So that way, community is getting recognized, and that brings more reliability on OpenAlgo in the long run, right? And we are not accepting every single ideas, only the ideas that is supporting our roadmap, right? We have a common roadmap. We are moving towards the common roadmap. Only those ideas which are supporting our roadmap, we are accepting that. So maybe if you are a contributor or you want to be a contributor of OpenAlgo, I would like to say that if you are having an idea which is not part of the roadmap, first, or if you're gonna, it's gonna be a larger work that you're gonna do and you want to contribute back, better discuss with us, because people are just simply coding everything using AI tools. right? So of late, right, so you can find like almost tons of pull requests are coming in, and almost everything is written by an AI tool these days. Very difficult to go through each and every one of those things. Some are like big features, people are publishing it. It's very inspiring to see all those things, but I'll tell you one thing, there are our ecosystem is like now 30 plus brokers. Means we are physically opening 30 plus trading accounts with each and every broker. We are physically testing, I mean, we are practically testing, we are logging into the each and every broker account, we are placing live orders, testing everything. See, any major feature addition, we have to go and test across all the 30 plus brokers, which is practically difficult if you're gonna add bigger bigger features, right? So what I would recommend, probably and one request at a time or one feature at a time, something like that. If you are trying it out, maybe we can discuss, we can consider adopting it into our application, right? So trying to do a lot of massive changes, there is a high chance that maybe your contribution may not be accepted inside OpenAlgo, because it's very difficult to go and test across 30 plus brokers, right? Even every small changes, sometimes even a small changes, one change if I'm doing in one broker, if it is a common architecture, it might impact other brokers also sometimes, right? So that way, to avoid such kind of bigger mistakes, we are at this point of time, we cannot accept larger ideas, right, unless it is discussed prior to that, and we agree to that, and we are approving those ideas, and we are testing back those ideas as well. All right. So that is for the contributors. However, OpenAlgo is completely designed for traders and also traders plus developers as well. Now, getting back to OpenAlgo, uh, if you go inside OpenAlgo, you'll be finding this. First thing, you have to find the file name called sample.env file. This is where we're going to keep our API key and API secret key. Maybe if you are using an XTS supported brokers, right? XTS is from Symphony FinTech. Many brokers are using XTS based XTS supported brokers as well. For them, there are extra layer of configuration, right, which is pretty much required. And you also have to ensure that you are setting up your redirect URL not in the .sample.env file. You have to configure in a .env file. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get inside OpenAlgo. So cd space OpenAlgo, that's a command to enter into OpenAlgo. You can also simply say cd space OpenAlgo, or you just say cd space OpenAlgo, or you can give a tab. I'll repeat again. I'll go back. cd space OpenAlgo. You can type like this and type enter, or you just type cd space open, give a tab, it automatically auto completes, and you can type enter. You enter inside the OpenAlgo folder, right? So followed by that, I am going to copy. So cp is the command to copy dot sample dot env. I'm going to copy to a new file name called .env file. This .env file is called as environmental file, where we generally keep our API secrets, right? So like the broker API key and broker secret. Primarily, we're going to configure only the broker API key and broker API secret and the redirect URL. That's a max that we're going to configure. But a lot of configurations are there. Only if in case you know about it, you can go and configure it. What is highly recommended is there are a couple of pepper keys are there, the secret keys. You can change the keys. It's highly recommended that you can change the keys. It's a one-time effort. You have to change the key. Don't keep on changing the key. Your application may not work at all, right? Because these values will be used for data encryption in your so mostly for encryption purpose it will be used. So first time when you are installing OpenAlgo for the first time, you can just generate these random keys and keep it securely. Later on, don't change this file very often. Don't change the keys at all. You change the key, you may not be able to log in inside OpenAlgo, right? So first time, yes, it is highly recommended. And OpenAlgo uses multiple SQLite databases, right? So we are using OpenAlgo.db. This is the main database where all the symbols and everything is stored. And latency logs will be stored in latency database. All the order logs will be stored in logs database. Any sandbox order, that if you are testing any orders, right, all those things will be stored in sandbox database. And historify.duckdb, we are using DuckDB for storing the stock market data, right? Which you can further use it for backtesting. And all these files, all these database files, you will be able to find inside the DB folder. So you'll be able to find inside this DB folder. As of now, the files are not created, but you will be finding out that once the OpenAlgo is started running. As of now, I haven't running. I'm not running OpenAlgo yet, right? So as of now, the DB file is empty. Let's say I'll go and configure the API key and API secret, right? I'm gonna go and configure the API key and API secret. So means for timing, I'm gonna use Fires, but you can use your own favorite broker, right? So I'll create an app. I'll say like OpenAlgo hyphen basics. The name you can give as per your requirement. The redirect URL, you can get it from the VS Code itself. I'll go to the VS Code. So here is the redirect URL. First, you have to replace this with your broker name, right? So I'm just going to replace with Fires. The name should be exactly matching as per the valid broker list. If you come to line 41, you find the valid broker list. If you keep on scrolling, you will be finding your own broker list. Only the list of brokers and the valid brokers will be supported. Any new brokers we are integrating will be updating this list, right? So for time being, I'm going to go with this Fires broker. I'll copy this and I'll ensure that I am keeping it over here, right? So I'm going to copy this redirect URL. Now, what is the purpose of the redirect URL? If you ask me, the purpose of the redirect URL is to authenticate you as a user and redirecting you back to the OpenAlgo database, right? Redirecting you back to the OpenAlgo portal. And app permissions, I'll select it. See, all this information I am doing it in the broker dashboard, right? So I'm just creating an app. This is the older version. Probably the brokers will be having more, uh, I would say, like you may also have to configure the static IP. So they also have a new dashboard as well. I'll also show you the new dashboard, how it looks like. In the new dashboard, which is from 1st of April onwards, you may have to you may have to attach your static IP as well. So you may have like primary IP and secondary IP. So you can find your IP by going to openalgo.in/IP. This IP right now, the IP what I am having is not a static IP, right? So what does that means is the IP will be dynamically changing. I don't know when it's going to change. Maybe sometime it will be there for 2 days, sometime for 5 days. Sometime it will be changing within a day itself, 2 to 3 times it may change. That depends upon my ISP provider, right? So what you have to do, you have to talk to your ISP provider, get check with them, like how to get the static IP. So maybe if you are using, let's say, Reliance Geo or ARC broadband or any Tata broadband that you are trying to use, or any other broadband that you are saying you are using, like or Airtel or something like that, you have to talk to the ISP vendor, your internet service provider. You have to talk to them, and you have to get the static IP so that the IP will never change. And that IP you have to key in your broker portal going forward. Right now, many brokers are slowly migrating towards this process. But I'm thinking that from 1st of April onwards, majority of the brokers will be enabling this primary IP and secondary IP. Already some of the top brokers already started enabling it. Upstocks, Fires, Done, right? ICICI Direct, and most likely recently Kotak also had some announcement on that. Right, many brokers, right? So even some mid-sized brokers also they started adopting it, like Alice Blue Very soon, every broker have to adopt it because that is the SEBI mandatory thing. Retail trader, your order should emerge from the static IP. This is very much going to be a standard practice going forward, and it's a good practice also. Is it only it is a process used in Indian markets? If you ask me, not. I would say like it is also used in some of the crypto exchanges. Also, I'd seen that they are using similar practices. It's a good security practice, I would say, right? So even though it's a little bit annoying, but that's a standard we have to adapt to that. So better try to learn more about static IP and ensure that you are getting a static IP. So your static IP you can get in your for your in your desktop also you can get your static IP. You can also host in your own private domain. Let's say I'm running this OpenAlgo demo 1.openalgo.in. It's my own private domain. I'm running OpenAlgo in my own domain, my own server, my own environment. I'm just running it. So if I am running in my server also, generally if you are taking any VPS or cloud or Amazon, you have to arrange static IP. Ensure that you are also having the static IP there as well. Generally VPS providers by default they provide static IP, and the server can be hosted anywhere in the planet, provided you consider ensure that you are keeping it as close as the exchange. Exchange is in Mumbai, so try to see that Mumbai or surrounding data centers you are trying to host near to that. Can I run my algos in maybe in Singapore or in London or in probably in Canada or in US? If you ask me, 100% you can run that, provided you are having the static IP, right? So means your IP should not change at all. And what another static IP guidelines is these IP address are allowed to change. You're allowed to change the primary IP or secondary IP. You can have two IPs, means let's say one IP, let's say you are working from home, you can connect that. And secondary IP, maybe you can, let's say like you may sometimes trade from your office. So you can connect two IPs at any given point in time. If I try to edit my app, I will not be edit my static IP going forward. I'll be able to edit only once every week. So you also might be seeing when you can edit those IPs. And since your order always have to emerge from this IP, right? So you may ask how TradingView orders will go through. If you ask me, I'll try to explain this with a diagram here. Just think about that. You're having TradingView, right? So we have a TradingView strategy because OpenAlgo, you can also connect with your TradingView strategies as well. TV means TradingView. So TradingView is going to send signals to OpenAlgo. OpenAlgo has a common architecture. OpenAlgo has a simple common architecture. So how OpenAlgo receives signals is through OpenAlgo API, common API, OpenAlgo API. And this OpenAlgo API is completely hosted locally in your machine. Right? You own the complete API endpoints. It might be running in your own desktop. So if you are using desktop, right, this is running locally, whereas the TradingView is running in the internet. So this is running in the internet. So if you want to use webhook, if you are using webhook, let's say if I'm going to use a webhook, then you need it's very you cannot practically get TradingView signals to your desktop application directly because OpenAlgo will be running in local host, right? Your entire OpenAlgo will be running in a local host. Now, what does that means is if you want to send from signals to OpenAlgo, you need some connectivity layer. For that, you can highly consider using ngrok, which is free of cost, and otherwise DevTunnel, which is what my recommendation is, DevTunnel, which is very easy to set up. The third reliable and security practice is like using Cloudflare. Now you can find all these three tutorials in OpenAlgo documentation. If you go to docs.openalgo.in, you can find all these tutorials over here. So maybe if you go to getting started, you can find the installation procedure. So Windows installation, you can find the relative video tutorials also. You can also find the ngrok configuration tutorials as well, like how to configure using ngrok and all those things. But remember, ngrok is optional only for the people who are using either TradingView. You might be using either TradingView or maybe Go Charting or maybe Charting. The only these users who are getting signals from the external vendors, right? External applications. It is going to broadcast signals to OpenAlgo, which is running in your desktop, only in desktop. If you are running in your own private domain, that itself will gonna act like a webhook, so you don't need that. So these methods, ngrok or devtunnel or cloudflare, these are the methods which are highly optional. This is totally an optional practice, right? Not mandatory one. It's an optional one. It's optional only for these users. Otherwise, if you don't want to use these links to receive signals from TradingView to OpenAlgo, you should consider hosting in a private server, so in your own custom domain, so that you can eliminate these things. So once OpenAlgo receives it, it will be converting signals to orders and it sends to the broker server using the broker API. Broker API. So let's say broker server through broker API. So are we clear up to this point? If you're clear, please let me know that you're clear. After static IP, ngrok will work or not? See, that is nothing to do with your ngrok. Let's say I'm having an ngrok connectivity. So my trading view to OpenAlgo, I'm using an ngrok connectivity, right? So your still signals from trading view will come to OpenAlgo, but always your order. Let's say your OpenAlgo is hosted in your own desktop and it's having an IP something like 62.34.46.77. Your order will originate only from 62, this particular IP, and this IP you have to whitelist in your broker portal. Something like this, you have to go and set up your IP there. So even though signals are coming from TradingView, the signals will be converted into OpenAlgo to orders only in your static IP, and your broker API will be receiving it. Ensure that it is whitelisted. So you have to go to the broker developer portal and you have to ensure that you're keeping those your IP is whitelisted. IP is whitelisted. Means you are adding it to the broker portal so that broker will accept orders for your account only if it is coming from your IP, the whatever that you had whitelisted at the broker side, right? That's how it is going to work. That way you are pretty much safe. It doesn't matter whether you are running in a desktop or a server, your IP should be whitelisted. Right now that is not mandatory, but most likely from 1st of April onwards it is likely to be mandatory. Still not many brokers onboarded yet. I'm not sure what is going to happen. Maybe will there be another extension? We don't know. But so far there has been an extension. But looks like 1st of April is, many brokers are already preparing for it. Means half of the brokers are serious, half of the brokers are still, maybe they are trying to onboard the static IP regulation. I don't know, right? So, but many brokers are getting prepared, right? So it's better to get prepared than rushing up in the last moment. That's what I would say. So Praveen is asking, pro version is needed for TradingView. If you ask me, yes. If you are using TradingView or Go Charting and Charting, most likely you need to have some sort of a paid plan, right? because many users are already using TradingView and Go Charting or charting ecosystem, so they are pretty much okay with that in sending signals. Otherwise, if you are looking for a totally a free option to build strategies, you should consider using Python, right? So how about if I'm going to use Python, will ngrok is required? If you ask me, absolutely, it is not required, right? So if you're going to use Python, then uh, Python or Go or Node.js or something like that, you're going to use. You're going to build your own trading strategies in Python itself. Then it's absolutely not required. Okay. Anyways, so we had got our API key and API secret key, right? So remember, as of now, I'm not including any static IP, but I showed you the procedure for static IP as well. Once, whether it is static IP procedure or not, you will be getting the API key and API secret key. I have to go and set up in my .env file. Remember, not in the sample.env file, but in the .env file. Paste it over here. And also I'm going to get the secret ID as well. I'll paste it over here. So now we are good to start OpenAlgo. So uv run app.py. Ensure that you are inside OpenAlgo folder and just type uv run app.py, right? Type enter. That will create two different things. One, it will create a virtual environment where we'll be installing all the libraries. Almost 177 libraries will be installed. It could be more or less going forward because we already added a lot of features, and that will be in running OpenAlgo in the port 5000. This is a web link that you have to access the OpenAlgo. Don't access immediately. If you are trying out for the very first time, wait for this to appear, right? So serving Flask app, that will eventually will happen. Probably first time if you are installing, it will be setting up a lot of database and everything, so it's going to take some 7 to 8 seconds. But second time onwards, it's not going to take a lot of time, right? Maybe some, if you are a first time user, very first time you are installing Python and everything, maybe for you it will take at least 2 to 3 minutes to install this. You have to wait patiently because first time installing all the 177 packages will take you at least 2 minutes, right? So this 177 package is quite memory hungry. So what I mean by that is like it's hard disk hungry, right? So if you right click and go to reveal in the file folder, if you go to the OpenAlgo, this .env file is what it will get created, and all your libraries will be installed inside the .env file. This is the one which is like, imagine OpenAlgo like a car, you need batteries. This .env file is the batteries for you, right? So which is like 680 MB, right? If it's totally 680 MB, so ensure that a minimum of 680 MB is pretty much required. And apart from that, if you look into OpenAlgo, so probably 680 MB, right? So total OpenAlgo should be little bit above that. So around like 760 MB, right? So means rest is like OpenAlgo database and everything. If you take only OpenAlgo, probably it will be coming around like 45 to 60 MB is what generally it comes around, right? But most likely it is not just 40 60 MB alone. If you include your virtual environment, which is 680 MB, because 177 libraries are getting installed. So all those libraries you can see inside .env file. If you go to the lib folder, site packages, you should be able to see all the 177 libraries, right? All the 177 libraries will be installed inside this VNV lib and site packages. All right, so now OpenAlgo is running fine. So if you would have seen the database folder, automatically when you're running OpenAlgo for the first time, you'll be finding various databases are getting created over here, right? And that is pretty much very important that all the files, all the database has been created. Now, first thing first, you can just copy this link and paste it in your browser, or you can also do a control click that will opens up OpenAlgo for the very first time. As I said, OpenAlgo is a single user application, right? So means only one OpenAlgo instance you can connect with only one broker at any given point in time. You can also parallelly deploy multiple OpenAlgo as well. in the same machine, provided let's say I'm managing my own Angel account and my own let's say like a Zerodha account or Fires or Done account. I'm just going to install, or Alice Blue account I'm going to install. I can deploy it, but procedure is little different, right? Maybe later on we'll talk about that. Not in today's session, but later on we'll talk about that. I'm going to log in for the very first time. So very first time when I'm going to try to log in, I'll be getting the username, email ID, password, and confirm password. So what is this like, where this information will be stored? If you ask me, all the passwords, username, everything, your email ID, everything will be stored internally in your own database. Nothing goes to any third party servers or to OpenAlgo servers. So as I said, you own the complete infrastructure. You have the complete 100% transparency. Let's say I'm going to enter my username. Since the code is open, you are free to audit the complete source code as well, right? Create an account. So whoever creates the first time, they are the admin for this portal. There is no other, you cannot set up one more time unless you delete the database. So I'm going to log in to the broker account. Since it's the first time, right, it will be when I click on connect account, it goes to the broker portal. You may have to enter your credentials. In my case, I already entered my credential. So I'm just going to accept. This is the first time. Generally, some brokers might accept some terms and conditions. So continue. So automatically it accepts you and redirect back through the redirect URL and comes to the main dashboard, right? So followed by that, the master contract will automatically get downloaded. This download process will be eventually anywhere around 10 to 20 seconds mostly, because almost 1 lakh symbols will be downloaded. Now, this will be downloaded on a daily basis, right? You may have to download on a daily basis. Every day you have to download once. What you need to know is only if the master contract is downloaded, only then you will be only you'll be able to perform a trading automation. If the master contract is not downloaded, you will not be able to perform automation at all. So ensure that first thing, master contract is downloaded. What happens if I log out? If you ask me, if you log out, right, all your strategy, let's say you're running some Python strategy, it will not take any orders, because when you are logging in, and the broker will be sending you an authentication token. So I'm going to take a minute over here to understand what is actually going to happen. Let's say you are using OpenAlgo. So here is OpenAlgo. When you are trying to log in through OpenAlgo, it goes to the broker. This is a much simplified process, but otherwise the process is slightly complicated. I'll try to keep at a very high level what happens. When you try to log in with your credentials, right? Log in with your credential, usually a broker portal will open most of the times. Broker use an OAuth procedure, and broker authenticates you. If all the credentials are valid, broker will send you a authentication token. So he sends an auth token. So this auth token is a secret key auth token, which is valid up to 24 hours. 24 hours is what brokers say, but generally it will be valid till 1 o'clock. It will be till valid till 12 a.m. midnight, or somewhere around 1 a.m. midnight. Some brokers might hold till 3 a.m. Some brokers even might hold till 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. also. I'm not very sure about it, but different brokers have different timing. It will expire every day. Expire every single day. This is an exchange SEBI regulation, right? So SEBI says like no matter what, the authentication token should expire. Now, why this authentication token is very important is, this is a token is as good as like you are having door to your home keys, right? So you should not reveal it to anybody. Authentication token, you cannot see it. It will be stored in a database. It is encrypted. It's highly encrypted, right? But it will be used whenever you want to use any transactional APIs, or let's say you are going to place an order. You're going to place an order. You're going to fetch a funds. Your API keys might not be used in some time. I mean, sometimes it may be used, but mostly it will be used along with authentication token. So authentication token is the most important one. If you are revealing it to somebody, right, it is a threat to somebody. Anybody can go and punch orders in your account. That's why the authentication token is highly encrypted, right? And so using this authentication token only, you can place orders, funds, you can access your order book, trade book, you can access the stock market data or something like that. Some brokers, they also use feed token as well. So mostly brokers use two things: authentication token for orders, data, etc. Some brokers specifically like Angel and Symphony FinTech, they use something called feed token as well. The feed token is only for market data purpose, only for market data. Authentication token, they'll use it for rest other things. Not every broker does that. Some broker uses only authentication token. Some broker use authentication token plus feed token combination. But as a user, you don't need to worry about all those things. If you are using OpenAlgo, you don't need to worry about all those things because everything is normalized. So you don't need to understand what an authentication token means. Still, you can open up your database and you can figure out where the authentication token is stored, right? I'm not going to go into too much of specification into that. But the thing is, authentication token is very important. So it automatically expires every single day. So since it expires every single day, right? How OpenAlgo is designed is at 3 o'clock, 3 a.m. IST, Indian Standard Time, OpenAlgo will automatically logs out. OpenAlgo auto logs out, auto log out. So means on a daily basis, you have to log in. The recommended time for login is at least you can consider login around like 7 to 8 a.m. is the appropriate time to log in. You better to log in anywhere around 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. if you are trading Indian markets, right? IST. But if you are using crypto exchanges runs 24 bar 7. So we design in such a way that automatic logout will not happen if you are going to use any crypto or maybe in the future any US market because they don't have this kind of architecture. This is more Indian market specific. So the recommended time to login is 9 a.m. IST. And there is one more token generally broker provides. It's called refresh token. Refresh token. This is to automatically renew your without login every single day, right? You can use refresh token and you can automatically renew your auth token, which is not there in SEBI's guideline. So this is no more. Broker might be not gonna provide the refresh token anymore. So no more used in Indian markets. Means going forward from 1st of April onwards. 1st of April onwards, you are not gonna find this refresh token. So means there is no other alternative on a daily basis. You have to log in no matter what, right? So that means OpenAlgo is highly compatible with the standard what the proposal from SEBI itself. So means on a daily basis, everybody have to log in no matter what. So it's not something like you cannot just like that. You can log in and you can go to Goa and you can enjoy the beach. It's not something like that. So you have to take care of OpenAlgo on a daily basis. You have to ensure that you log into OpenAlgo, ensure that your OpenAlgo automatically downloads the master contract. That means you are good to go and start your OpenAlgo. So why 8 o'clock? If you ask me, why exactly 8 o'clock? In the sense, generally, many brokers, they update their master contract. Since we have like weekly expiry, right? Nifty options and Sensex options and couple of other options are there. Many USJNR options, MCX weekly options are there. Because of that, the contract database, new old contracts will expire, new contracts will come into that, and that is very much important if you are an option trader. So if you are not an option trader, you don't need to worry much about it. It doesn't matter when you are logging in. If you're an equity trader, again, doesn't matter much unless you're not going to trade the IPO stocks. But it matters mostly for option buyer or a seller. If you're an option buyer or an option seller, it is highly recommended that you log in only after 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Right? So generally after 6 a.m. itself more than enough. But it's highly recommended that you log in after 9 a.m. or 9. That's a good practice, right? Because Upstocks says like in their portal that they will be publishing the master contract around 9 a.m. Around 6 a.m. is what I had seen in their portal, right? So I think Zerodha also somewhat in that similar lines, around 5 to 6 a.m. I'm not very sure. So that way you always get to download the latest symbols. Why this is important? If you ask me, let's say you are going to place orders in near month expiry or next month expiry. You're not hard coding the expiry contracts. Then the calculation itself happens from the master contract database. This requires very much important. So you ensure that the simplest way is like you ensure that 9 a.m. After 8 a.m. anytime you can log in. But once you log in, right? If you even log out, let's say I'm going to log out over here. I'm going to log out. I try to log in again. So I just log in. So every time you log in fresh, a new authentication comes and sits in your broker database. You can see that the next time it is not going to download the master contract at all. So that way you are your master contract after you're downloading after 8 o'clock, right? It will not gonna re-download the master contract every single time for the same day. Now, if you go to .env file, again, I would like to show you a couple of things. So in the .env, you can also find a couple of instructions over here, like what port you want to run. 5000 is the default port. If you want a different port, you can change those port details. And we also, the WebSocket will be running for real-time stock market quotes. We are running in common WebSockets at 8765. Again, it's configurable. ZMQ, again, it is configurable, right? So ZMQ is what we are using for something called PubSub. I'm not going to go very detail into that. And when it comes to WebSockets, you can access up to 3000 symbols at the maximum. Per WebSocket connection, you can means real-time streaming data if you want to access via OpenAlgo. It by default it supports 3000 symbols. Maybe if you have broker like Zerodha can support like 3000 per WebSocket. So into three, you can access up to like 9000 symbols. You may be able to access if your broker is like Zerodha. Different brokers have different values. That you can find it in your broker portal, right? So by default, imagine you are a small trader. You are not going to use too much of symbols. Let's say you're not going to get real-time option symbols or something like that. Or you're not going to run some real-time screeners with 9000 symbols or 10,000 symbols. Only then you should worry about it. By default, 3000 symbols. By default, it supports across all the 30 plus brokers. Means you don't need to largely worry about it, right? And if in case we are exceeding, if you are a very active trader, you want to scan the complete universe of NSE, BSE, or multiple option chain that you're gonna fetch and you're gonna look into the universe and you're gonna do arbitrage. So only then you should be looking into this. Then comes the most important one, right? OpenAlgo has an internal rate limit. By default, the order rate limit is set over here, 10 per second, as per the standard what SEBI's prescribed guidelines. And 3 o'clock it automatically expires. That configuration is here. This is applicable only to Indian markets. And then you can also disable the expiry, session expiry. If you want to disable, you can disable it by enabling it true, which is likely for crypto brokers. For a non-crypto brokers, you should not touch. If you are an Indian broker, you should not touch this if you are using Indian brokers. And as I said, like master contract cutoff time, this is for Indian markets again, right? This is why Indian market typically 8 o'clock is what the preferred standard is. But if in case if you want to move, let's say you're gonna log in every day around like 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock, you're sure about brokers publishing time. Let's say like Zerodha or Upstock, they publish around like 6 o'clock. So in that case, you can keep something like 7 o'clock or something like that. Means you can automatically log in on a daily basis anywhere after 7 o'clock. But I prefer to keep it as 8 o'clock. This is non-impacting, doesn't impact much. Maybe even if you log out and log in again during market timing, again one more time the master contract will get downloaded. Then for cryptos also they use option symbols with expiry, right? So like Delta Exchange or Binance, they also provide option symbols to trade with expiry dates, right? Futures are perpetual, but options comes with expiry date, so they also old symbols will expire, new symbols will come in. So we kept an UTC time is what we kept, which means in Indian time will be like plus 5:30, around 5:30. Uh, every time it'll ask for a new download, right? That is very much important. So means still you have to download the master contract. But let's say that if there is any issue with the master contract download, you can still manually go and download the master contract download. You can do a forced download. You can trigger the forced download. That will be re-download the master contract, which you can go and verify. If you go to the OpenAlgo, if you go to the console, you'll be able to see that the master contracts are getting downloaded, and you're getting a success message after that. All the message has been downloaded and it is inserted into the database, right? So which means your master contract is downloaded. It also shows what time you downloaded at the last, right? All those instructions, how many symbols has been downloaded, each and every exchange, how much symbols has been downloaded, everything you will be able to find it out over here. Now the best part about OpenAlgo is there are two important things I would like to talk about. That one is the API key and API secret key. Now this API key is very much important, particularly if you are playing any if you're building any strategies or you want to access data in your Python codes or in your Node.js code or Go codes, even if you want to send any orders from platforms like TradingView or Go charting or charting, if you want to access OpenAlgo from externally, you need to use this API key. This is not broker API key or API secret key. You can reveal it. If you find that this is exposed, you can also regenerate it. You can click regenerate, automatically it will be giving a new key for you, right? So by default it is in automated mode, means if you are sending any orders, automatically it will be transmitted to your broker. If you are in semi-automatic mode, the orders will be coming to the action center. There is an action center section is there, right? It will be coming over here. So I'll go back to the API key. I'll switch back to the automated mode. That is the default mode. And we have an API playground. This is for the beginners who want to explore OpenAlgo. I'll come to this part very quickly. We also have this live mode as well, and there's a flip button is there which will switch to analyzer mode or sandbox mode. Let's say I'm in a dashboard. There's a test account. I'm having like some extra money in my account. If I'm gonna flip my account, right? You can see that the analyzer mode flips to the uh, analyzer mode, which comes with the sandbox capital, which you can use it to test your trading strategies, right? So this is like kind of an walk forward testing your trading strategy, right? You can test your trading strategy, whether your strategy is working fine or not, before taking it live. Okay, how I can build my first strategy? That's what I'm going to show you right now, because that's what it is all about. So this here is where I'm having OpenAlgo. I'm going to open up a new terminal. As I said, it's highly recommended that you use some form of a CLI terminal. So there are two CLI terminal that we talked about. That one is Codex and Claude Code. So if you want to install Codex, so Codex CLI install, there's a simple command. You can just go to the Codex CLI. Maybe you have to copy this command and you have to install it. In my case, I already installed, but I'm going to show you one more time, like how to install it. Right? In my case, I'm already having Codex also. So it's going to take like some few seconds to install it. Later on, you can invoke Codex. so that you can connect with your chat GPT and you can build your strategies. So you just type enter codex, and now you can use this to build your own trading style. You can choose, maybe sometime you may have to go and choose the model as well. You can go and choose. Right now the recent model is ChatGPT 5.4, which is one of the latest model from ChatGPT. Highly intelligent model. You can select how much reasoning level that you want. It's recommended to go with the high level itself. Then you can type your trading strategy, like I want to build a EMA crossover strategy or something like that. I'm not going to use this, but I'm going to use something called, something similar is what I'm going to use. I'll say, like, I'll press Control C, that will be breaking down. I'm going to use Claude, right? So I'm going to use Claude over here to build an simple strategy, right? Okay, so in order to build the strategy, I need context, right? I need a context. What I'm going to say is, so here also the same procedure, you can go and select model slash model. That will be telling which model that you're going to use. The recent model is Opus 4.6 with 1 million context. They had introduced 1 million context yesterday, right? It's an AI tool with high quality production grade strategies can be easily able to build. So how to build? That's a question that if you are having, we have a documentation section. Inside that, we have a prompt section. This contains many details about OpenAlgo and OpenAlgo documentation, Python documentation. If you, one of the documentation is like OpenAlgo SDK. So if you would have seen that, it contains how to write your strategy, how to place order, how to access option chain, how to get the order book, trade book, position book, all the complete requests and responses here. So means if I say simply, I want to build a trading strategy. Let's say I want to place 920 straddle. So even before you give the context, right, you have to say refer this. That's what I'm going to say. Refer this link, so that now it understand. Now it is already an expert in understanding the entire Python SDK. Now it knows how to place orders, how to access the historical data and everything, right? And maybe sometimes if you are dealing with options, you may also have to know the OpenAlgo option symbol format as well. So OpenAlgo has a unique symbol format. OpenAlgo has a common symbol format which is common across all the brokers. Common symbol, common exchange, common APIs, common WebSockets. That's what it is very unique about OpenAlgo is all about, right? So now it knows everything about how to place order, order info, how to fetch the market data, how to place options order and everything. You may also need to provide the open symbol as well. So I'll say like understand these docs as well. I'm going to send two more docs. One is the common symbol format and WebSocket. This is for if in case if you're going to play with stop loss, target, trailing stop loss, break even to stop loss, something like that. If you're going to build, then this one is also very much important. So you have to feed all these information. Now your AI model is completely an expert level to build a simple option trading strategy, right? So now we can simply say, I want to place an 920 straddle, right? For the expiry, I'll select for the expiry 30 December, 30 March 26, right? Let's say it's a monthly option. I want to place an 920 straddle at exactly at 920. I want to sell a straddle, or you can just be very specific. 9:20 a.m. I want to sell a straddle for the expiry in Nifty, right? The Nifty is what I want to send a straddle, and followed by that, I want to place a stop loss, per leg stop loss, right? Per leg, you can say like per leg stop loss, you can say a combined stop loss, per leg stop loss of, let's say like 35 percentage each leg. This is entry. And the exit rules I'm going to say. So exit rules are exit the positions by 15:15 IST 15:15 IST, I want to exit. And also close any pending order. Not close, but cancel any pending order, right? Cancel any pending orders if it is there. So we may also need to provide order constant as well. So there's also order constant which says like what exchange OpenAlgo supports, what are the product types, CNC and RML and MAS, and price type, what are the types of order which is supported, what is the action which is supported. All those details are available there. If in case if you want to provide, you can also provide those detail also, right? But anyways, at this point in time, anyways, I'll just queue this as well. Also refer this docs, right? So ensure that all these documents are referred. OpenAlgo, Python SDK, order constants, symbols, and WebSockets. If these four documents are very much important, service documentation is for OpenAlgo internal usage, mostly for developers. But for traders, these are four things which are very much important. Flow migration tracker, I think I'll be deleting it. I'm just keeping it for a temporarily. I'm just keeping it, but I'll be deleting. But otherwise, these four files you can give as a context to build your own algo trading ideas. Your algo trading ideas can be like you can design and simple trading strategies, or you can build an very soon we will not be using these files. We'll be publishing skills, so that way you don't need to give this prompt every single time, right? So but for time being, if you are want to building an option strategy, or if you're building any technical indicators, if you are building technical indicators, highly recommended that you use either TALib indicators or OpenAlgo to build your own indicators. Don't blindly say like I want to build an simple CPR strategy, or I want to build this ORB strategy, something like that. If you are building some indicators, ensure that what library that you're going to use, whether that library is installed or not, all those things are your responsibility. So some bit of basic knowledge has to go through if you are going to build your own trading strategies, right? I'll also show you that as well, if in case you're going to use a TLib library, how to play with that, right? So this is a simple strategy. It's going to create an code, right? So it's also verifying a lot of things as well. What Python version I'm using, and so VNV is activated. So OpenAlgo is installed. Should I go and create the cell straddle strategy script? No. It's also doing a lot of verification, ensuring that everything is imported. I'll say like yes. It creates a simple straddle strategy. When you are getting a strategy, first of all, you need to ensure that you're also adding the OpenAlgo API key as well. So let the strategy, let it happen. Then I'll tell you what to do with the strategy and how to test it out in sandbox mode, or how you should run inside OpenAlgo. That's what we're going to talk about that. This is very, very important because this is what many people ask also, right? So it had created a strategy. It created inside the folder strategy, scripts, nifty, cell, straddle. So you can just control click, that will open up, or you can also go to the strategy folder. So just go to the strategy folder, scripts. Inside that, you'll be finding this nifty cell straddle. Different times it may keep in different folders. So you have to ensure that. So here is the API key. So you have to set the API key, right? So for timing, I'll remove this, and I'm gonna set my API key, which I'm gonna receive from my OpenAlgo. I'll go to my OpenAlgo. Just give me a sec. I'll ensure that OpenAlgo is running. So once OpenAlgo is running, just go and run the application, login, go to your API key, and copy the key and replace your nifty cell straddle. Within a double quotation, you just paste your keys, right? And that should be enough. Now you are good to run the strategy, right? So you have the complete control, your expiry, product and entry time, exit time, stop loss percentage, right? How frequently it should check whether the order has been hit or not. It is using some sort of polling method. I'm not going to go very too detailed into how to build strategies because that itself and completely and different ocean, I would say, even using AI tools. But I would like to show you once your strategy is ready, right? Once all these libraries are also installed, I'm going to host the strategy inside OpenAlgo. File save as. I'll put this for time being in a desktop. So once the strategy is there, what I'm going to do, I'll go to the Python strategy section. I'll click on add strategy and then I'll give a name. I'll say like my 920 straddle. I'll click on the Python script. I'll ensure that I'm gonna select that. And you can also define what days you want to schedule it, right? So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Let's say you don't want to trade on Fridays. Most likely you don't want to trade on Mondays also. Let's say Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday only. This strategy has to be executed. Saturday, Sunday, you don't want to execute. So you just simply upload the strategy. So it says like I cannot keep like dots. So maybe a space is allowed and special symbols are not allowed. That's what it is saying. Like only numbers, spaces, hyphens, and underscore. So you cannot put dots. Upload the strategy. Strategy is uploaded. So automatically it'll get activated between those timings. Right. If you want to edit the timing, you can go and edit those timings. Or if you want to delete the strategy, you can delete it from here. So by default, it is in a scheduled mode. If you want to stop the schedule, you have to cancel it. Maybe if you want to edit something with that, or if you want to see the code, you want to make some changes, but ensure that your API key is always set over here. If you're running OpenAlgo in a different port, ensure that your OpenAlgo port is also set by default. This is very much mandatory. And then you can always do a simple start and stop. You can do that, right? If you're not scheduling it, automatically it'll be running 24 bar 7, which is not recommended because broker have API rate limit. Sometimes after market hours, it may erroneously getting into keep on running, which will be keep on hampering the broker side performance. So broker might cut you off. They might even ban your API keys. So better. That's one of the reason that we have a guardrails so that only your APIs will be used only between these timings as well, right? How many strategies that you can run, if you ask me, that primarily depends upon how you are writing your strategy. Maybe if you are writing a strategy using WebSockets, then you can run more strategies. But if you're going to call historical data, you're going to fetch historical data every single second or every 5 second once, then you will be bound by the broker API rate limits. So typically 5 to 10 strategies, you can go with that in a traditional context, right? Can I run 20 strategies, 30 strategies by fetching historical data? That is not possible because broker has a rate limit. Even if you're going to use the broker direct API, that same limit will be there. Under OpenAlgo also, similar rate limits are applicable because still the orders are sent through the broker API only, right? So Kailash is saying like, is it possible to discuss on how Python strategy like simple EMA or supertrend should be designed in OpenAlgo to get triggered by webhook inside of OpenAlgo flow? I mean, we're not going to talk about that, but I'm going to talk about something about technical indicators. Let's say you are having a simple EMA crossover strategy, right? And you want to code your own strategies. So you can decide what libraries you want. This is something you need to give more importance. Let's say I'm going to write an, I want to design a simple EMA crossover strategy. Let's say the strategy is like 10 and 20, 30 EMA strategy on a 5 minute time frame, right? And it is an intraday strategy. Let's say the intraday strategy is like between 9:30 a.m. to 15 15 hours, right? So 9:30 to 15 is what we're gonna do with that with IST. Only between these timings only I want to trade. And let's say it is a long only strategy. I'm not going to short only. So you can clearly you have to specify. And I'm going to trade with like trade with 10 quantities. So you can define how much quantity that you want to trade You want to trade on a percentage basis, like what exactly you want to trade, which symbol that you want to trade. So I also say like trading symbol, State Bank of India, exchange is NSE. That's what I'm just giving. I want to trade in MIS. I want to trade using MIS. Since you don't need to specify MIS because it knows that it already knows the context from the documentation. So you would already use this documentation. Use this documentation part over here. Right. So this documentation prompt, you would already given this OpenAlgo SDK, order constant, symbol, WebSockets. You so that it understands that intraday means MAS. Since already you had given intraday, it knows that intraday means MAS. We don't need to define again and again and again, right? So, but still, for your convenience, you can give. You just and the best part is if you don't say how to calculate EMA, it is gonna calculate EMA from the scratch, which is a very slow process. Highly recommended that you use some sort of library. You need to install, let's say, like use talib to you have to use talib to calculate technical indicators. But one thing you have to remember, TLib is not a standard indicator. As of now, we haven't adopted inside OpenAlgo, right? Because OpenAlgo itself support 100 plus indicator. But let's say you want to go with TLib, right? With TLib, what you need to do is you have to install TLib. First of all, first thing is like you have to go and install TLib. So break the OpenAlgo application, uv pip install ta-lib. That way you can install talib. So now your OpenAlgo also, you can use OpenAlgo to build your indicators as well. Now this talib is installed inside the .venv folder. So talib and all the associate dependency libraries are installed automatically. And now you run your OpenAlgo as usual. Now you can use, now you can, whatever the strategy that you are getting from here, right? That you can host it inside OpenAlgo and you can run across the, you can host it inside OpenAlgo itself. But couple of things that you should remember. As of now, if you are running your trading strategies, ensure that your trading strategies are not positional strategies. Ensure that it is only intraday strategy. The reason is sometimes, let's say tomorrow you're going to restart. Your strategies are not going to remember how many positions are open so far, right? So better test your strategies in sandbox mode. So the strategy is already created, right? So the strategy is already created over here. It's inside the script folder. I'll go to the script folder. So inside script folder, you have the State Bank of India EMA crossover. Take the code, ensure that you replace it with your API keys. API keys are most likely from here. So you get the API key, copy that, right? So replace with your API key and ensure that talib is already installed inside OpenAlgo, which we had done that. Save this. You just save as, put it in a separate folder, right? Save as, I'm just going to put it in a desktop, right? So SBN EMA crossover. And now you come back to OpenAlgo, come back to your Python, right? So OpenAlgo also already restarted. So add the strategy. I'm going to say like SBN crossover strategy. It's a long installed, configure from Monday to Friday and upload the strategy. So now you can manage the strategy between those timings, right? So you can also see like what timings are there. So if you don't want, you can just click on that and you can delete the strategies, all those things you can do with that, right? So if you don't want the strategy to be running, you can cancel it. But remember, if it is a positional strategy, you should manage to remember certain things. Let's say like even if the application is restarted, it will lose all the things which are running. Let's say any position that you are remembering, it will be forgotten. So intraday strategy, you don't need to worry too much about it. Uh, but ensure that you're not disturbing during the live markets. If your strategy is running, just keep it running, let it run live. You can also see it in the log section as well, what is happening. So let's say you can write some couple of print statements or log statements. You can see it in the log section. But as of now, as a strategy is still in a scheduled state, it is not going to show any logs as of now, right? But during live markets, you'll be able to see the logs. Don't try to run directly in the live environment. Ensure that you are always testing in the analyzer mode. Once analyzer mode it is running fine, you can always flip to the live mode, right? And also remember, since your strategy is running in live mode, even if you flip it out, right? So strategy will now switch to analyzer mode. So now any orders will be firing, it will go to the analyzer mode. So don't try to, if you are experimenting, or if you are very new to OpenAlgo, remember, if you are in analyzer mode, any orders are coming in, it will go to analyzer mode. If you change to live mode, now any orders which are coming from your Python will always go to the live mode. Same thing applicable if you are sending orders from TradingView or AMI Broker or any external platforms also, same thing. What mode that you are having, that orders will be sent accordingly. You have a live mode, orders will be sent to live account. You flip, analyzer mode is there, your orders will be sent to analyzer mode. Now, second important most thing that I would like to show is like the symbol section. This is the most important section. So the symbol section, if you go to the search section, you can find OpenAlgo symbols, right? So for example, let's say you want to search for a Nifty option, future contract, you just simply type Nifty FUT. That will be getting you the Nifty, relevant Nifty future symbols you'll be able to figure out from here, right? You can see that I'll search for it. You will be finding Nifty symbol. This is the OpenAlgo symbol here. And your broker symbol. Broker symbol differs from broker to broker. Almost every broker, they have a completely a different symbol format. But always, we will be in OpenAlgo, you'll be seeing only you'll be seeing only OpenAlgo symbol across order book, trade book, position book, right? So you have to, when you're placing order, you should place only with the OpenAlgo symbol. You should be familiar about OpenAlgo symbol. If you're a beginner, maybe it takes a few minutes to understand what OpenAlgo symbol is all about. You can find the documentation under the API section. If you go to API documentation, you'll be finding the symbol format, right? So index traders, if you're an index trader or if you're an FNO trader, FNO futures and options trader, definitely you should understand the symbol format. The symbol format is pretty easier if you are an equity trader, right? So equity trader or equity investor, it is very easy for you to understand the symbol format. It's very easy. And but if it is an option symbol or future symbol, you should know about it, right? Or you can also ask, other way to ask is like you can open up a cloud. I'll say like I'll open up a new cloud, one more cloud session parallelly. You can drag and drop the prompt documentation, go to the docs. Come on. So sometimes, right, it's automatically trying to activate a VNV. This is recently after VS Code upgradation, this is doing this kind of stuff. Anyways, you can disable it also, but I'm not going to go too deeper into that. Let's say I'll just drag and drop the symbol format. Understand this. So it's going to go and understand the OpenAlgo symbol format. I'm going to ask like, what is the symbol format for, let's say, something like a Nifty March future, right? So that's what I'm going to ask here. So usually it sometimes it may try to speculate that expiry is on 26th March. You have to confirm that because 26th could be something like around something like an Thursday or something. Yeah, Thursday. Because, but you know that recently expiry is on Monday. So I mean Tuesday. I'll say like expiry of Nifty shifted to Tuesday. So if you're gonna say that, it's gonna accordingly, it's gonna change the symbol format, right? So you have to be very careful about asking what symbol format is if you're gonna use any AI tools, because AI tools are sometimes gonna hallucinate. It's not hallucinating because the models has been made a couple of months back, it is not aware about the latest it's not aware about the latest changes, whatever it has been made. It may not even aware about the lot size also. But some of the examples in the OpenAlgo documentation has been using Nifty lot size as 65. So it's going to get the lot size as 65 correctly most of the time. But sometimes you have to go and manually, you have to go and check what is the lot size has been used. So you can say, like, you can just drag and drop and say, like, and ask questions like what is the lot size of Nifty. Since this documentation, lot of examples I had provided a 65, it is gonna say 65 most likely, right? You see that it's coming from the lot size is 75 is what it is saying. And I think this is a wrong idea. So if you want to avoid this, what I would do, I have another set of practice I follow, which I'll go with, like I'll go to NSE. I'll say like NSE lot size. I think I prefer to go and download from this done portal, where you can go and download the CSV file. You just keep the CSV file ready. Just click on that. So here's the lot size, right? So you keep the lot size, probably just delete it. These are like lot size, and save it. Probably this lot size, I just rename this file to lot size, right? I'll cut this and I'll try to keep it inside this particular folder. So you just put everything in a one single place, right click, reveal in a folder, and you place this. And this contains the lot size of every symbol. So you just drag and drop. Now it knows what is the latest lot size is. So now what is the lot size of Nifty? That's what you're gonna ask. So now you can understand every lot size. It's gonna understand that, right? So probably as per the latest lot size CSV file, the lot size of Nifty is 65, right? So for March, April, and May 2026, because otherwise it's going to get it from the training data, right? So ensure that you also maintain some sort of a lot size CSV file. I'm not going to put this inside OpenAlgo. The reason is the lot size will be keep on changing. So you are the one who is responsible for getting the latest lot size documentation. You maintain the context of lot size. This is very much important, so that you always drag and drop this before and say like, hey, this is my lot size, this is my lot size. So that's it. Then later on you can go and start building your strategy, and it is gonna get the appropriately, it's gonna get the strategy. Let's say you're gonna build a strategy in Reliance. It's gonna get you the lot size of Reliance. So what is the lot size of Reliance? So you're gonna ask any question, or you're gonna build any strategy for Reliance futures or options, it's gonna get you the strategy from Reliance itself. This is very, very important, right? Otherwise, you have to go and modify the strategy. You have to go to the strategy and you have to modify it from your strategy itself. Let's say Nifty sell straddle. Ensure that it is using the right lot size. So what is the lot? So you see that it's using 75, it's supposed to be 65, right? So something like that, you may have to modify it manually if you are not maintaining those context. It's very, very important, right? So that way, you are the one who is responsible for testing the strategy. Before testing the strategy, don't try to run directly if you are building anything using AI tools. So the process is very simple. What you have to do, you can build your strategy using Codex. So you build your strategy using, you can use probably Codex, you can use, or Claude Code, or you can use anti-gravity or cursor, whatever it is, right? Cursor, whatever the thing that you are using, you first validate, maybe just open a code and check if everything is right or not. So validate the lot size, etc. Validate exchange symbols, or what are the order types, everything is running, everything is proper or not. Once validate other values, or ensure that libraries are relevant libraries are installed. So The next one is ensure libraries like TALib or let's say vector BT you're gonna do for backtesting. All those things are installed or not, right? So ensure libraries like TALib. These are like by default will not be installed, but you may have to ensure that it is installed. And once this is done, the next process is go and test it in the sandbox mode. So you have to test it in the sandbox mode, right? That is very, very important. You test in sandbox mode. So once you are comfortable, maybe if it is a very new strategy, it's okay to test for like 2 to 3, 4, 5 days also. And then you take it live. Once you're getting comfortable, you know how to operate, you know how to handle OpenAlgo, only then you should take it to the live markets. Learn to host inside OpenAlgo, ensure that application is running fine. You're able to see the logs, you know how to run, you know when the restart is happening, what exactly is happening. So everything is running smooth, only then you should be taking it live, right? Okay, so I had already installed OpenAlgo. Now, on a daily basis, what is the procedure for me? If you ask me, so let's say I'm closing everything, right? I just closed everything. Next day, I have to go and open up VS Code, right? Obviously, your OpenAlgo is not going to run. So you have to run it again. You go to the, sometimes your folder also might get closed, right? Let's say your folder also got closed. You find the folder where you installed OpenAlgo, open it up. If it is already open, doesn't matter. You just directly go to the terminal, open up a new terminal, get inside OpenAlgo folder, and UV run app.py, right? So you have to type it out. That will be starting OpenAlgo and control click, start logging into the OpenAlgo on a daily basis. The procedure continues. As simple as that. Are you clear up to this point? Or any doubts as of now? So many people's question is like, do we need to have a pro version of TradingView? Yes, of course. So many external third-party vendors, they charge for providing access to the webhooks, right? So are you guys clear about it? If you're not clear, please let me know so that I can try to explain what is what. I think Ramana is having a question. Yes, Ramana, please go and ask a question.
Hi, Rajendran.
Yes.
And can you show me the symbols like how we need to fetch for Nifty index and all? I tried with that NSE index, but it's not
So
working.
very simple. You just go to the search, select the
Okay,
exchanges like NSE index and search for it. Maybe you have to give a search term, something like say like Nifty,
okay.
and I can get that. Or the easiest way is like you can consider this way you can get the all the Nifty symbol. You can get that.
Mm-hmm.
Even the Nifty symbols are also standardized. So this is what we've been standardizing so far, implemented for almost all the top brokers. We had integrated top brokers, XTS brokers, majority of the newly integrated brokers. Everywhere, this is the common symbols we had integrated. But some mid-sized broker we are yet to roll this out. We've been rolling out probably I think by end of this April, the entire symbols will be normalized. As of now, Nifty, Fin Nifty, Bank Nifty, Mid Cap Nifty, India VIX, all those things are normalized. And the Sensex, BankX, Sensex 50 has been normalized for across all the brokers. But other symbols also we've been keep on normalizing. So very soon we'll be normalizing across all the brokers. I think so far we are normalized for 20 plus brokers. Maybe I'll also try to see if I can show you the list of brokers we had normalized, right? I need to go to sheets.google.com. So we have this OpenAlgo core. So where we are doing index symbol normalization. Majority of the brokers we are done with these brokers, right? And some of the
Okay.
brokers we already done. I think these these brokers also, I think IFL XTS are still, we are about to release, almost with this done again. And some more brokers, I think more or less we will be done in couple of days, it will be done. So probably by end of this April, all the brokers will be integrated. But if in case if you want to get only the list of index, there is the easiest way is like you go to the API key section,
Okay.
open the playground where you can go and fetch the you'll be finding this data and utilities. There's an instrument section is there. You can go and say like I want all the NSE index symbols, just send, you'll get all the index symbols.
Okay. That index symbol and exchange is same for WebSocket streaming also.
Come again? Yes, yes.
Okay, like I tried with NSC, like Nifty as a symbol and NSC index as a exchange for live data streaming, but like OpenAlgo given like the symbol not recognized like that. So I wanted to check that one.
See, if you want to test whether the data feed is supporting or not, I don't know
Hmm.
from where you support it. There is an, if you go to the examples folder, right?
Okay,
Inside its example folder, there is a Python section is there.
okay,
You can go and test it. There are two ways you can test it out. One is number one, you go to the LTP example. So where you can find LTP or market depth example. So there's a depth example is there, or there is a quote example is there. There's a quote. These are like Python examples. Let's say you want to test it out with simple quotes. You want to test. You put your API key
okay.
and you set your NSE index and Nifty. If you are running, you should be able to get the data. Which broker you tried, by the way?
Tried with Grow.
Grow. It should be possible. Like you should be able to fetch with Grow as well.
Okay,
You should
and
be able to
also
fetch. So this is what you have to set in exchanges NSE underscore index and Nifty. Maybe you can try with the sample code which is available inside codes underscore example or LTP underscore example. Another way to test is like internally, which is not public, but there is a testing tool internally we have, WebSocket slash test. You can go and add, let's say you try to connect and you try
mhm.
to search for Nifty, it automatically it should pop up with the exchange. Oh, here we don't have, we haven't added NSE underscore index, but still, what is another way? I think you should be able to see from the playground itself. So I'll go to API key, playground. There is a WebSocket section is there. Here we should be able to try it out. Let's say I'll connect the WebSocket and I also I
Okay,
can transmit an authentication. I may have to transmit, like for example, the one like this. I'll try to transmit, or I can first I'll say like I want to subscribe to codes. So you should be able to. This is for Reliance, or maybe I'll say like Nifty and NSE underscore index. You should be able to subscribe, right? So you should be able to subscribe and you should be able to start receiving live data. Right now, live data markets are closed, but if the markets are open, you'll be seeing like live markets are continuously coming through the WebSocket. That way, you can test from the OpenAlgo playground itself,
okay, okay.
right?
Ravinder, and one more thing. Uh, uh, do we have any alternative for that OCO option, like manually?
See what SEBI guidelines is like as of now, bracket order and cover order is not allowed as per the SEBI guideline. I'm not sure what brokers are going to do. If they're going to keep it, it's well and good, but I'm not very sure about what is going to happen. But as per the guidelines, I'm not very sure they will be even accepting GTD orders or not. I'm not very sure how this is going to shape up. That's why I'm not integrating any of those things inside OpenAlgo. So far, we haven't integrated touched anything on GTT, anything on bracket order, cover order. We're not touching because I want to see after 1st of April what is gonna be there in the API, what is gonna go away from the API, right? Because many brokers, many new brokers like IND Money, they are saying like exchange is not allowing us, so we are not providing unless we are getting more clarity from the SEBI guidelines. So they are not providing at all. Even the market orders, they are not providing. Many new brokers, so we have to integrate the market protection orders.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, and one more thing, Rajendran. Actually, for every order, currently we are creating new py files, right? So, do you have any template or standardized file for we don't need to create new files for every order, something like that.
I'm not getting it. Can you repeat again? Like,
So, if you are trying to place any order from any like ChatGPT or Claude, right? New
hmm.
py files are getting created, and that API has been getting hit. So,
Yes.
do we have any standardized template for that? So we don't
You
need to
can
create.
find in the documentation section. You can also find in the example folder also. So if you go to example folder, you can find a lot of examples. This is like only with stop loss example. With the real time stop loss is from WebSockets, right? It just simply place an order. You can just test these things in your sandbox mode first. Try to understand how things works. And this is with stop loss and target example. Only it places an order, followed by that it also places a simple stop loss and target. Maybe you have to change the symbols and you have to try it out, right? So first you are if you are trying any of these examples, these are like kind of templates. Templates, not
Okay.
strategies. Just to check how things works. Highly recommended that you check with trading. I mean, you check with your sandbox mode, and you can use this as a prototype to build stop loss and targets in your trading strategies. These are like foundational examples. If you give this to AI tool, it is going to help you to build your own trading strategy. For example, let's say I built a simple EMA crossover strategy which I know that it's already working fine. For example, I'll say like I'll go to Claude, right? I'm already having an let's say one of the strategy that we right now we built, right, which is inside strategy folder. We have this examples. Now I'll go to scripts. We build this SBN crossover examples, right? So I'll say like this is my strategy, and now I want to enable WebSocket based real time stop loss and target, right? Can you refer this example? So I'm going to provide an working example over here, which is my stop loss and target example. Then you can say how many stop loss, how much stop loss you want, how much target you want. Let's say I want a 0.25 percentage as stop and a 0.5 percentage as target. And my tick size, probably you may have to give a tick size also, because earlier it was only 0.05 for most of the counters. Now tick size for State Bank of India will be like a point 0.1, or you should know where to get the tick size. If in case if you're going to use multiple symbols, you should refer symbol function to get the tick size. So that way, now it understands clearly how to build a simple EMA crossover strategy along with that stop loss and target also. Because we are already having a working solution, you already tested that working solution. Now you are using that, you're mixing your EMA strategy with stop loss and target. Now it get a now it will figure out how to write stop loss and target, because now it knows how to access the WebSockets of OpenAlgo, or you have to give OpenAlgo documentation if in case if you want to create from scratch, right? So you have to give this docs prompt, and then you have to give this WebSocket documentation which has every update about how you can use OpenAlgo Python to access the WebSockets. All those details are included over here. How to access the market depth, how to get the codes, everything is included over here, right?
Okay. Okay, Ranjan.
So that way you should be able to integrate your own strategy. You can prepare your own templates. Very simple, right? You don't need to depend upon anybody. You can, if you are using AI tools like Codex or Claude Code, you should be able to easily able to prepare across the brokers. Whatever you are building, that will be common if you follow this prompting techniques. Whatever I had explained, this prompting files that you're going to give as a context, very easily you'll be able to figure out how to build strategies, right? But still, testing responsibility, the trader has to take it. Trader or developer has to take it, because they are the one ensure that everything is running fine in the analyzer mode, so that I can confidently switch to the live mode, right?
Sure, sure, Anjan. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
So that
Thank you.
way you will not be abusing your broker using the polling method. You use the WebSocket. That's the most easiest and lightweight method to check your stop loss every single second, right? Otherwise, it will be fetching the live LTP data. This may work for single broker. It's going to work fine, but that will put a lot of pressure on broker server, and it is not an efficient method also. So over a period of time, you have to check with the Claude or Codex. If you are a non-coder, check which is efficient method. So you can say like which is more. We just copy and paste and say like which is more efficient method. Are you building it more efficient or not? All those things you can ask, right? So it's gonna help you out in doing in explaining which is more powerful, which is more an abusive behavior. It's going to tell you that, right? Because
Okay.
if you are a non-coder, you need to figure out which is the better method, right? So what is the risk involved in that, what is the use case, and what is the latency, which is more efficient, and it also gives an explainer as well, which is more efficient, right? So for me, the WebSocket stop loss and target is more efficient than EMA polling, where we'll be checking the live data every 15 seconds once. This is a very weakest method. Here you'll be able to figure out like some brokers like fires. Within a second, the data will be updating 3 to 4 times. Even in Upstocks and Dun also can see similar things. The latency every few seconds, I mean, within a second itself, 3 to 4 times the price will be updating with many brokers. So you can use it for price-based exits, or maybe you can create combined stop loss, combined premiums. You'll be able to easily able to calculate using the WebSocket method for stop loss targets, or checking multi leg combined stop loss. If you want to exit, then this will be very much required for risk management purpose. Highly effective to go with WebSockets than through the APIs. API also can keep a stop loss, but you may have to call the APIs every single second. That is a little bit of abusive, and that will be adding a lot of load to your server also.
Okay, okay. And in indicator skills, like we need to use this Claude for building that indicator skills, or how we need to use that indicator skills,
So I'll
Rajendran.
tell
I
you
have
that.
seen some YouTube videos.
Yes.
Can you explain briefly about that indicator skills? And also, I can see market data of some live data or market data skill was there. So, can
So
you give
let's
a brief?
say I'll go to docs. Oh, come on. I'll go to docs.openalgo.in, and I'll go to the skill section. MCPs we already used. Earlier we used MCPs to get the stock market data, but skill is much more efficient. So one of the skills like indicators. As I said, you have to install using this command. For this, Node.js is required, which is what I initially explained. So open up a new terminal and ensure that just paste the value inside your OpenAlgo itself. OpenAlgo basics, the outer folder. I'm going to install the file. Now it has multiple skills. Like so, one is custom indicator, one is for charting, dashboard, expert, scanner, setup, and live feed. Enter, and you have to tell what is the application that you're going to use. Maybe some people might be using Codex. You can just directly give enter, doesn't matter. In my case, I'm using Claude Code, so I'll ensure that I go back and ensure that I select. If I select, it will be shown as a green one, and enter,
Okay.
and enter, and enter, enter. That should be installing two different folders. One is dot agent for the people who are using anti-gravity cursor or something like that. Claude code, it's gonna give dot Claude folder. These are nothing but bunch of text instructions, right? So kind of a markdown instructions you can find. Some lot of best practices how to install using this. This uses completely using OpenAlgo. This entire thing will be using OpenAlgo Python library, because OpenAlgo comes with 100 plus Python indicators. So if I want to build my own strategies, right, what I need to do, like just simply say, I'll say like load the skill. First thing is like always you have to learn to load the skill. Going forward, we'll be having a lot of skills, right? So time being, or if you are a contributor also, you can also contribute. You're building some skill, you can also contribute back to the community as well. I'll say like load the indicator skill. Right? That's what I'm gonna say. So it checks in this folder if Claude fold file is there. It try to see find skills. It'll try to see if there are any relevant skills are there. It'll try to load those skills. So once the skills are loaded, now we can build whatever we want. We can build a charting indicator or an custom indicators you can build, dashboards you can build streamlit dashboards, scanners you can build, live feeds, you can get real-time stock market data, right? So everything is, you don't need to worry about providing prompt. This itself having a lot of instruction. All you have to do is like you just simply load the skill. You don't need to provide any of those details unless it is required. So I'll say like I'll go to trading view, a simple indicator. I'll go to trading view here. In the meantime, I'll first thing is like I need to do a setup. So I'll say like slash setup hyphen, probably there should be a command for setup. I'll say like, so this is indicator setup, right? So from means the slash indicator hyphen setup. This will automatically create another virtual environment. We are just setting outside the folder itself, outside OpenAlgo. We're gonna create a new environmental setup. We create an indicator folder. So a lot of things will be getting created over. It'll be installing all the relevant libraries which is required for functioning of uh, the skill. So what are the indicators that you're going to create? This is a one-time setup. So first time you have to go and it creates an VNV folder, one more virtual environment file, which is going to install all these libraries. So it installs OpenAlgo, Yfinance, which means you can still use Yfinance to use the skill as well. If you don't still don't use OpenAlgo, Plotly, Dash, and Streamlit, Numba, NumPy, Pandas, python.env and WebSocket. These are pretty much required if in case you want to build your own indicators, not execution strategies, but let's say you want to build your own scanners, you may need Streamlit. So all those other things are also installed along with that. Streamlit will be installed. Yfinance, maybe if you, in case if you want to plot in US markets, Plotly, maybe if you want to plot charts, right? Streamlit, maybe if you want to build your own screeners, backtesting controls that you want to build. These things will be pretty much. You want to build on real-time streaming dashboards, then OpenAlgo and WebSockets are. These combinations are very important. So once the setup, it'll take like somewhere around like 5 minutes of time to set it up. Once you set up, I'm gonna show you like how to build an indicator. Like for example, you can just simply go to trading view, you get the formula and you just say I want this particular indicator. That way you can simply able to replicate it. So for example, I'll go to top indicator. I'll pick up this one of the simple CM William Wix fix, which is an kind of a proxy for Wix, right? I'll say like this is a daily data. Right now it is at kind of an going like kind of an extreme. I'll go and get the code and I just say like I want to convert this into an indicator, right? So, but before to that, let the setup, let it happen. There are one more settings you may have to set, right? So for example, you can say like you also find folders like charts. Anything you're going to create a chart, it's going to create over here. Custom indicators will be placed inside custom indicators. If you're going to create dashboard, it will be kept inside dashboard. If you're going to create a scanners, it will be kept inside scanners. And you also need to set up your .env file as well. So I'm going to say like I'll enter my API key of OpenAlgo. First thing I'll go to OpenAlgo API key and then I'm gonna provide the OpenAlgo API key here. So log in, get the API key, copy that, and come back and set up the API key. So just give the API key and say where your OpenAlgo host URL is running. So it basically it is asking question. Claude code is asking me questions because it is preparing another separate .env file to access OpenAlgo indicators, right? Because you might be creating multiple indicators on the fly. So you can see that it creates a .env file. This is used only by your indicators and back testing dashboards if in case you're going to create something like that. So now any indicators that I'm going to create. So now I'm going to say like I'm going to create an this particular OpenAlgo indicator. Like so, I mean this particular indicator is what I'm going to create. I just copy this code. I'll say like I want to create this William Wicks fix indicator, right? That's what I'm gonna say, and I'll give an enter. So that should be picked up, and it should be building those as a separate indicator with the exact precision. And that's what these models are really good in doing those things. So it also says like what are you can also just say like what exactly you want. You want to build a charts. You can just invoke with a slash chart, right? Indicator chart. You can use this indicator chart as a command, or you just give the prompt. It will figure out how to build those indicators, right? So it uses OpenAlgo libraries to build those indicators. It is not going to use TALib, even though we had already installed TALib. It is going to use OpenAlgo to build those indicators. So it created an indicator, and here is the output of it. I haven't said what symbol I want, so it by default it takes it State Bank of India and it try to build those values. Rather, I can say like, can you bring the indicator with a Nifty with an exchange of NSE underscore index on a daily time frame, right? So that way you should be able to get those indicators as well. That's the easiest way to just say yes, and it's going to get you those details as well. Maybe a lot of yes you may have to provide. There is a dangerous indication that you can add, but generally it is not recommended. So if you keep your cursor, it says like it is the value is like 10.949, which is like approximately 10.95. So if you compare with trading view, the value should be exactly matching. Let's say I'll go to trading view. The recent value of the CM William Wicks fix indicator is, go to indicators, I'll go to top, I'll apply CM William Wicks fix. The latest daily indicator value is 10.95. You can see the values over here, 10.95. That's the latest value. That value should be exactly matching over here as well, 10.949, which is like approximately 10.95. So trading is showing you the rounded off value is what is
Rounded,
showing.
yeah.
You got that?
Yes, yes, I got that.
Yeah, that way you can build any of your own indicator strategies and everything. But more complex your indicator, probably the procedure could be slightly different. This is simple indicator. Simple indicator, one shot will be you're gonna build that. Something like complex indicator, one of the complex indicator which I have to build. There are some couple of complex indicators I have to build. So these are like this is SMC structure. It took me like 2 hours to build it, right? And then I had to build this one, which already somebody had open sourced it for Y Finance. I have to convert it into OpenAlgo. So now you can run this kind of an RRG style charts, right? And then I have to build this. This is built using vector BT skills, and then again vector BT skills to do an kind of a small case style trading strategy, like kind of a momentum ranking strategy. In other words, we call it as like cross-sectional momentum strategies, or you can build your own data visualization, something like this. This is kept inside OpenAlgo itself. You can find this inside example folder done by one of my intern, say who is like just straight out of college. He's able to build this, right? And inside OpenAlgo itself, you can find a lot of visualization, which I'm going to show you in a moment. So if you go inside OpenAlgo, you go to OpenAlgo here, right? So if you go inside OpenAlgo, if you go to the tool section, you can find a lot of visualization, mostly related to options. Like this entire page is like close to close. We have like 10 tools that we are having for options. One is for option chain. It is like kind of a streaming option chain. You're also able to place orders from here itself. All these values will be streaming during live markets. You'll be able to place live orders. In analyzer mode also, you can just give a try. Let's say you want to place an order in this. The center one is the money here. Just buy and then place an order. Order is placed right now. The orders are, you can place those orders and you can visualize it in an analyzer mode. You can able to see the PNL and everything. You'll be able to get those things, right? The context is Why we are allowing orders after the market hours is so that you can test your strategies after market hours. Only MAS order you cannot set if it is beyond this timing which is set in the sandbox. If you go to the sandbox, if you scroll down, right, you can see the square of timings for Indian markets. Crypto, there is no square of timings, but Indian markets, MAS orders will be squared off at around like 15:15. So automatically, if you're testing any strategies intraday in analyzer mode, automatically it gets squared off by 15:15. Like how exactly the brokers square off the orders, your order also will get squared off. But if you want to change it, you can change it out. But any orders you are sending, intraday orders, MAS orders, if you are sending beyond this timing, your order will not be allowed. Right? So for standard practice, you should aware about that if you are testing your orders in analyzer mode. But however, if you are sending an CNC order or NRML order, you will be able to place whenever you want. Right? So let's say like after market hours, you want to test it out. Brokers will generally restrict. Some brokers, like many brokers, restrict. Zerodha, Kotak, I think some brokers they accept. I think Fires, Upstocks they allow it. Angel they will allow. Rest all the brokers, I think they are restricting it. Some brokers are allowing, some brokers are not allowing it. It's more of a broker's choice. I think Grow, I'm not very sure. They're not. I think they don't allow aftermarket hours. Kotak, I'm sure they don't allow, and Zerodha they don't allow. Done also they don't allow. Likewise, there are many brokers they don't allow. But still, you want to test your strategies, test your orders beyond market hours on Saturday, Sunday. You want to test it out, then analyzer mode will definitely help you to test, execute, try it out, how it works. All those things you'll be able to play around, and you can build your strategies pretty much faster, right? So that's the reason analyzer mode or sandbox mode is very important for traders to test your strategies without parking any live funds. And once you're comfortable with that, it's highly recommended to go with and it's just simply switch to live mode. That's it, right? And
Yes,
broker
sure.
login is very, very important. Without broker login, you cannot access the analyzer mode at all. You cannot even log into OpenAlgo. If in case, let's say I'm a student, I don't have any trading account. Is there a way? If you ask me, yes, there is one more way. That is using the Done Sandbox. So if you go to the broker section, you can find the Done Sandbox. This is for the people who don't have any trading account, but they want to test OpenAlgo, right? This is not an exact simulation, but you don't get live day market data. You don't get any live WebSocket data. Mostly you will be getting some simulated data is what you will be getting. But still you will be able to go log in, place order, check how the APIs are working. All those things you will be able to experiment, but you may not be able to measure the performance of your strategies. That is not possible in the Done Sandbox. And one thing that I noticed with Done Sandbox is like usually on Saturdays and Sundays, these sandbox may not function. I'm not very sure. Some in earlier, I am not able to log into the Done Sandbox, but maybe they whether they are allowing now or not, I have no idea. But you should go and check it out, right? So you have to go and check it out whether the Done Sandbox, you have to go and log in, get the dummy API key and dummy API secret key, and you have to put it, you have to configure it, and you have to start using it accordingly, right? That's how Done Sandbox works, mostly for students, not for traders. For traders, you can consider always, you might be already having a trading account. You connect your broker, switch to analyzer mode, build your strategies. Once you're comfortable with that, convert into live mode. Just flip it out, right? That should solve the things. Can I run half of my strategies in live mode? Can I run half of my strategies in sandbox mode? If you ask me, that is not possible. That's how OpenAlgo is not designed. So we are very clear. Either you can operate either in live mode or we can operate in analyzer mode. It cannot be a mix of both. That's how OpenAlgo is not designed, right?
Okay, like can if we log in with the two different account, is it possible?
Yes, yes. One account you can use it for testing, another account you can use it for
Live
trading
mode.
strategies. But
Okay.
again, one more important thing that you should aware about it. The most important thing is like some brokers, very few brokers, not every broker. Some brokers like Paytm, Kotak, they don't support historical data. Means if you want historical data with these brokers, it is not possible. Kotak said they will be enabling it in the upcoming days. I'm not sure about Paytm, but some brokers, they very few brokers, they don't allow historical data. So means if you're building a strategy with a broker A who supports historical data and you move the same strategy to some other broker, they don't support means your strategy will not work there because they don't provide historical data, right? But if it's something with WebSockets, almost every broker supports WebSockets. Almost every broker supports LTP codes, depth. All those things are possible mostly. In that case, you don't find any issues, right? So sometime back, we also provide an compatibility report as well. So which you can find inside, I think most likely you can find inside documentation itself. If you go to OpenAlgo, if you go to Docs, maybe if you go to audit or something like that, you'll be finding something called compatibility report. I'm not sure where I kept, but it should be somewhere in this. Do we have a compatibility report? Okay, we'll ask like, um, can you find the compatibility report? Compatibility report, right? So I'm gonna ask for a compatibility report over here. It's gonna find an it's a markdown file basically. I don't know where I kept, but it should be somewhere in this place. So we have like, I mean, just simply clear it out, clear the context. Then can you find the compatibility report? I'll also say like it is a markdown file. It's a .md file. Yeah, so that's a broker API. Under audit, we have this broker API compatibility, right? So audit. I don't know how I missed it. Inside OpenAlgo audit. Okay, not inside documentation. Inside OpenAlgo itself, there's an audit folder is there. We kept an broker API compatibility, right? So means you can read it in Markdown format, but if you right click and you can say like open preview, so that way you can just go and read it as good as that. So it shows every feature, right? What brokers are supporting, what brokers are not supporting, everything is shown over here, right? So some brokers like margin function, some brokers are supporting, some brokers are not supporting. That's a mixed thing is there, but many users demanded for a margin calculator. But otherwise, we have a complete coverage across all the brokers. For orders, there is no problem with that. Almost every broker supports all the orders. Order book, trade book, all these things again every broker supports. Only margin calculator, it's some broker supports, some broker doesn't supports. However, codes, multi-codes, depth history intervals, almost every broker supports, right? And if you have seen, 5 depth is what every broker support, but 20 depth and 50 depth, we enabled only few selected brokers they support, like Dun supports 20 depth and Fire supports 50 depth. And Upstock support 30 depth, I think, which is not included in the documentation, but Upstock support 30 depth. And then option analytics, like what are the option facilities? I think mostly we have a complete coverage over here. And only historical data you might find, not every broker they support historical data, right? So history, if you would have seen that, and some of the brokers are not supporting. Cortex is not supporting. Motilal Oswal is not supporting. Paytm and Pocketful, so they are not supporting, or maybe they may be supporting in the future. As of now, they're not supporting, right? So stub means function exists, but it returns empty data or raises nothing implementation error. So if you try to access the data, still it will work, but you will not get any data because brokers are not supporting, right? That's what it is all about. And inside OpenAlgo, as I said, the tools, recently we had added couple of interesting tools over here. You can get the intraday option Greeks. This is mostly for intraday players. Remember, this is a very slow tool because it's going to fetch the data from the broker. Option Greeks, in order to fetch, and then it's going to get the historical data. I mean, it should be fetching the data and it's going to calculate option Greeks. That's going to be a little bit of time consuming. So it loads, whenever it's loading, it's real time, but it may take a couple of seconds to load, maybe, right? Almost many tools requires, even the OI tracker, it's going to download a huge amount of data. So the moment you're going to click in, it's going to take a little bit of time to load those symbols, right? So let's say I'll try to load Why it is not loading? Let me check why it is not loading. It is fetching all those details. Okay, maybe during market hours it may occur. Let's give give one more try. It's not happening. About straddle charts, because there is no problem with the historical data. And straddle charts is like kind of a dynamic intraday straddle. So throughout the day, how many ATM strike price has been changed? That many number of historical data it's going to load. So this is going to be a little bit of time consuming. So it takes at least like 15 seconds to load, I think, approximately around. So you have to be patiently waiting for this data to load, because there's no way to speed up because brokers are having rate limits. And to avoid that, we are just slow down the downloading process, and then we download all the dynamic ATM strike price. We're collecting all the historical data, and then we are rebuilding this, right? So this is something which is as of last 3 days, right? Last 3 days. And recently I had to build this something called straddle PNL, right? So let's say I'm just going to play at the money straddle. I'm going to automatically adjust whenever the price is going to change. So I can just set how many quantity I'm going to trade. Let's say like dynamics intraday straddle strategy is what I'm going to play with that. So how my P&L curve my equity curve will look like. That's what my last 1 days of equity curve or last 3 days of equity curve, how it looks like. That's what you will be able to get over here, right? So this is like strategy started profitable, then it entered into a loss, and then it enters into like kind of an profit again, and then finally it got into loss that way. Right. So you can also see the list of trades happened. How many adjustment happened? I think total approximately 60 adjustment happened throughout the day. Right. Every time the money changes, it closes the old straddle and it open up a new straddle. This is something one of the couple of Gujarati based traders, they asked me something. I just want to show them like how to build it using OpenAlgo. So we built it in one of the Goa conference. I have to build this. I mean, outside the conference, like we sat outside and then, okay, let's go and try this out. So he says like this is something which is, he want to see, he don't know how to build. He's not a coder. So I just told him like how to build. He studied computer science, but the effort is very bigger. So you don't know how to build. So I just show them how he can use OpenAlgo to build visualization inside OpenAlgo itself, right? So for something like this, you want to build inside OpenAlgo, we have to use this documentation, right? So the documentation, we have an internal API documentation. So there are two things you need to understand. If you're building direct Python strategies, you have to use the docs, go to prompt. You will be using this OpenAlgo Python SDK. But if you want to build some features inside OpenAlgo, right? Anything that you're going to common across all the 30 plus broker, you have to use this service documentation. There's an internal API documentation, same place order, place smart order. All those features you will be able to access, and you will be able to place you can able to place order from the screen, something like that. You want to build features, then you have to refer this OpenAlgo service documentation, right? Maybe later on that we will talk about that. Maybe some other session we'll talk about that. This is mostly for developers who want to build inside OpenAlgo, right? So Priyan Sharma is asking, can we get the recording of that? I don't know, maybe if you're talking about this session is already getting recorded and will be posted to the YouTube as well. Anyways, so that is likewise we have like multiple tools that we have. We can get an volatility surface, like a kind of a 3D graph you should be able to get if I load the surface. And again, this takes a little bit of time to load. You'll be able to see the, maybe this is mostly useful if you are an delta neutral trader, or let's say you can use IV Smile. So you can get the IV Smile data for various expiries. You should be able to get it, right? And you can also get the gamma exposure dashboard, the OI profile. So OI profile is slightly an tedious one. It may take a lot of time to load, but every tool has its own time to load, right? So sometimes the load tools will be loading pretty much faster. Sometimes it's going to take time because it's going to fetch a lot of data from the broker, process it, and it's going to give you the visualization, right? So that's why it could be a little bit slower. Anybody's having any other question that I should address? Any basic questions? And then we have log section where you can see the sandbox logs, like what order has been sent, what is the request has been sent, what is the response that we receive. For sandbox logs, for live logs, you'll be able to get latency monitor to check how faster the order is going, right? So why the order is, each and every order will be measured, every API request will be measured. For both live also will be measured, for sandbox also will be measured, right? Then you can see like which queries are slower, why the queries are slowest most, right? So you need to figure out and you have to go and fix it. Sometimes you're going to pull a lot of historical data, then it's going to take a little bit of time, right? So, but if you're gonna call something like a place order or something like that, it's gonna be pretty much faster. In sandbox mode, you can expect around like 210 millisecond, but if it is a live market, you can expect pretty much faster, around like 50 to 120 millisecond. That's what mostly you can get. Kotak is the broker, we had seen like 36 milliseconds of time. If it is exceeding like 2 to 3 seconds or something like that, you should notify us so that we can see like why it is happening. We can go back and fix those issues as well accordingly, right? You can raise any issues that you want us to bring to the attention. You can always go to OpenAlgo, raise it in the GitHub issue section so that we'll ensure that top priority has been provided, right? So the issues over here, it has some of them, not everything is an issue here. Some of them are like enhancements, some of them are feature requests, some of them are we raised small issues over here, multiple small issues we raised so that first time developers they can come and contribute, right? If you are a first time contributor, you should check this good first issues, like a lot of good first issues we had raised, so that these are like small uh, optimization, right? So something like which is not impacting the services, but they are like kind of maybe some small security additions or some small changes in the UI. Maybe the button is not visible in certain cases, right? So something like that that will be fixing it. Maybe some fixing the logs, fixing the some of the best practices. So that's what it is all about, right? Maybe if somebody who is a first time beginner, they will be able to fix all these things. These are like good first issues are like non-impacting issues. Somebody who is a developer or who want to be a developer and who want to contribute to OpenAlgo, the good first issues, the first place to they should start with, right? And already many students had responded. So these are like many students had contributed back. We are yet to review those things as well. So I think probably next couple of days we'll be reviewing all these PRs and we'll be adding it to OpenAlgo. All right, so I had installed OpenAlgo. Now I want to upgrade OpenAlgo. What is the procedure? If you ask me, again, very simple. You have to open up your OpenAlgo. Just break the OpenAlgo. You have to only fire two commands. You have to fire always, right? So you have to go to CD space. I mean, you have to go to Git pull that will be downloading the latest OpenAlgo files. It will be upgrading your OpenAlgo, but sometimes it might not allow you using git pull. You may have to give git stash to stash it out, and if at all any changes you have done, that will go away and you will be able to download the latest OpenAlgo, right? So generally git pull should work. If it is not working, it says like already some existing files are there, you have to stash those files and you have to again pull fresh. Followed by that, go to the upgrade folder and you have to ensure that you are running this upgrade procedure. You have to run uv run migrate underscore all dot py. That will be running the migrate procedure, right? So this will be what this will do is like if any database changes are there, it will be updating the database changes. Generally, the database changes will not be very frequent, but it's a good practice to follow this as well. So all these documentation you can find inside the OpenAlgo documentation itself. If you go to OpenAlgo documentation and if you go to the getting started section, so if you go to the getting started section, you will be finding at the end, you will be finding this upgrade procedure. So you can find the UV method upgrade procedure. That's what is highly recommended. That's a modern way. That's also a recommended way as well. You can just follow the procedure which is listed over here, right? So you have to do and get into the OpenAlgo folder, maybe back up the OpenAlgo database, do a git pull. If git pull fails, do a git stash and then do a git pull again. Maybe sometimes we will be updating the .env file as well. This is not a mandatory one, but only if you're getting an error like your .env is using older version, you have to upgrade the .env as well. So you have to again take a fresh .env, uh, reconfigure your API key and API secret. Maybe back up your API keys also if in case, so that you don't need to regenerate again. This is not required because by when you're running OpenAlgo itself, new libraries will be automatically installed. If in case if I am installing any new libraries, right? And this is very much mandatory. CD upgrade, run the migrate all, and then get out of the folder and start running your OpenAlgo. As simple as that, right? So that should be using that you should be able to upgrade OpenAlgo, right? While upgrading OpenAlgo, ensure that you are breaking OpenAlgo using Control plus C, and you start running OpenAlgo again. I guess these are the very basic things that you need to know about it. But otherwise, OpenAlgo does a lot of other things. Maybe in a different time, we'll try to catch up and we'll try to see like how we can uh, how we can try to. I think OpenAlgo is already broken, right? That's why I'm just getting an error. So ensure that OpenAlgo is running, right? So if in case if something is not working, first thing is just ensure that OpenAlgo, you're running the application. Sometime back to upgrade, right? I've broken the OpenAlgo. So now everything should be working fine. You just refresh the page, things should be back to normal, right? So that means everything is working fine. So I guess that is with the very basics. And Sandbox also has more controls. You can go and control the capital. You will be able to control how much capital that you want to try it out. You can control it. You can also control the leverage as well, right? So again, many people's question is like, I'm an option seller. I'm not getting the actual leverage. Let me tell you, for option buying and option buying doesn't require leverage, but option selling requires leverage. Even for futures also, it requires leverage, but we are not setting the actual exchange leverage because exchange uses the CME based leverage formulas which are not open source, which are proprietary, right? So which means you cannot duplicate the actual span margin conditions because exchange provides something called CME span margin calculator, which you have to download it and you have to use it. And these tools are not proprietary. I mean, these tools are not open source, right? So you have to go and download the span software from there. Exchange is also using the PC span, which is again not open source. You have to download it. If you go and click, you have to go to the CME group and you have to get that. So that's the reason we are not providing the actual span margin and everything. We can still use the broker's margin calculator, but the problem is like some brokers it is supporting, some brokers they are not supporting. That's the reason we are not. We just hard coded the values with what is the values that we hard coded, right? So if you're an option seller, in analyzer mode, it's not going to block you the actual margin. So 1x, maybe if you want, you can put 10. It's not recommended. You just go with one only, but your margins are not going to get blocked. The margins will not be simulated. Futures, you can just set what you want, 10 or sometimes 20. So it's up to you like what you want to trade. Let's say you're trading Nifty, then generally recommended to go with like 10 to 12. That's a number that you have to key in. Maybe if you're gonna play with stock futures, you should consider using something like around like um, 20 or 18. So that's a number you have to go and check what brokers leverage is all about, set it accordingly and try it out, right? So that at least you will be able to simulate similar margins, but margin benefits and all those things cannot be simulated because that requires PC span and that is a proprietary tool, right? And without that we cannot be able to simulate that. Or you can use margin calculator to check how much your broker might be blocking for the margin, as simple as that. All right, I guess that is with OpenAlgo, right? So maybe we'll try to catch up with an yet another session. Otherwise, more or less we are done for the day. Thank you. And recording will be posted in YouTube by end of the day. See you in at another OpenAlgo basics. I hope this helps somebody who is a non-developer, who is a non-techie, so they want to manage OpenAlgo. This tutorial is a must-watch. Maybe to your friends who is not a trader but still who want to try algo trading, you can just forward it to them. It's a very brief session that we had done. A lot of things to cover. Maybe in our upcoming chapter, maybe a part two, we'll try to do on that. Right. Thank you.